This is Josiah Plays Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I am here in Detir, in the region known as Alcerund. I'm playing my character Cato Bloodrose the Paragon. Is she Para here? No, she's Paragon. Alright, I don't know. And I'm about to do this quest, Kidnapped. Allard has fallen ill from a Fey sickness. I can save his life if I complete a Fey rite for him. I could head to the caverns now. Time for me to go in to the Caverns of Ingress. Not to be confused with the Caverns of Egress. Alright, here we go. I gotta fight a Thresh in here. I gotta do some bullshit where I get cursed, right? With like 3 different curses and then fight a Thresh. It's gonna be some nonsense. Let's keep it real here. It's gonna be some nonsense. Beautiful cave. We've got some soft Scrabble. Just in case you didn't notice this giant ass button on your own, here's a fucking flashing arrow pointing to it. Seriously? Like the waterfall Florian mentioned. Begin the rite of valor! Oh no, I got trial of a commencement. What does that even mean? It means minus... Holy shit! Minus 50% damage resistance is no joke! Oh, I'm about to take pipe in here. Alright, this isn't gonna be good. Dude, these boggarts are gonna wreck me. Well, they're still gray, though. I will dig your grave. I will dig your grave. Dug it. We got some delicious star thistle over here. See, like, if I really wanted to be overpowered, or OP, the potions, the buff potions are actually really strong in this. And so I have so many fucking supplies now, so many herbs. I could just make a shitload of buff potions and just use them basically all the time and be extremely powerful, like if I wanted to. Not to mention crafting powerful gear and all that sort of business. So, like, if I needed to make the game easier, I could. Glowing purple light. I will auto attempt for 90%. An Arcanist's Cowl. The Scholia Arcana occasionally honors the most respectable and accomplished spellcasters with enchanted relics like these. 16% fire damage. What? You lose a lot of armor, block efficacies, and fire resistance. Gain a lot of fire damage. Tempting. It's actually quite tempting. It's quite tempting to actually wear that. That is a lot of extra fire damage. But my armor... Wait, why is it only 988? I had over 1,000 armor before. I didn't change my gear. I had over 1,000. And I don't think I changed anything. Oh, maybe it was one of my rings. No? What lowered my armor? Oh, maybe my armor is being lowered by this debuff? I don't know. Two-piece set bonus, 25% more fire damage. That's strong. I mean, I can afford a little bit of armor lost, I guess. For now, I'm gonna wear this. Can always change back. Local map PLZ. Bogarts. Narca Summoner. Ancient Leon Ashes. Good, good, good. One shotted. What's up, Rainbow's Demon? How you doing? Welcome. What we got going on here? Glowy circle on the ground. Various business. Very glowy door. Rabid medallion. In case you need to get rabid. You're playing this right now? Yeah, it's a pretty fun game, huh? Apparently I can't. Bunch of narca assholes up this way. Alright, pal.
Another dustling for the fire.
This ends now, dustling.
Alright. I got a lot of mana drained in that fight. A lot of mana drained. Got it for Xbox 360? Cool. I'm playing it on PC. I got this on Steam on sale with both DLCs for like $6 or $7. Pretty great. Theoden, I'll take it. I'll take it. Giant waterfalls. I'm gonna go over this way and fight some ancient Leon Ashes, I think. What level are you? I am level 31. What about yourself? How far into the game are you? Alright, let's do this. I ain't here to take no shit. Power of magic. It's magical power. That's why they call it magic. Alright, I got some Scarwood bark. Oh yeah. I should figure out what potions you actually make with Scarwood bark and White Flake. And make like 1 trillion of them. Not because I need them. Just because I can. See, I don't think there's anything of any interest back this way. I've already been in this room. Level 7, you're doing the Warsworn quest? Nice. Yeah, I've done some of the Warsworn quests. I haven't finished all the Warsworn quests. Summoner? Nah. I ain't trying to get nothing summoned. A killer's great sword. If that killer wanted to kill things worse than me. They probably make potions of Quen. Ah, God. Fire, fire, I love fire. Some delicious baked chocolate treats over there. AKA brownies. The brownest of ease. I will kill them with the greatest of ease. Oh shit, a Krudok. That complicates matters. I will dig your grave! I dug his grave. Average dispel 90%. I'm feeling it. Ah, now I get my second curse. This gleaming structure appears to be the pillar Florian spoke of. Continue the rite of valor. Trial of strength. Let me guess, I do like half damage now. I do half damage. Fun. If I'm taking double damage, I'm dealing half damage. Good thing I'm so over leveled for this fucking thing. If I was doing this on level, oof. This would be hard. This is the tree Florian spoke of. The Trial of Tree! Alright, what does this one do? Minus 25 chance to evade. Don't know what that means. I found the Tree of Valor and activated its corresponding sigil stone. According to Florian, a beast of many vines should have awakened. I must find and defeat it for the Korra Petal. So we gotta go kill a tough-ass Thresh with a whole bunch of horrible debuffs on us. But fortunately, it should still be gray to us in terms of XP level, so it shouldn't be too terrible. Also, Thrushes are still vulnerable to fire, so... Yeah, never mind. This is a joke. That was probably the easiest Thresh fight I've ever had in the game. Got the Korra pedal. Am I cured now? I think I'm cured. That was an easy quest. See, this is the problem. Remember when I was talking earlier in the game about how I was going to get over-leveled and everything was going to get too easy? And I wanted to try to avoid that as much as possible? Well, this is now I'm in that state. Where everything's too easy. Because I'm over-leveled. I've retrieved the Korra pedal from the Guardian of Ingress. I should return it to the Circle of Engard in hopes that they can rid the Almain Allard of the Narca curse. It's okay. It'll get harder again when I get closer toward the end of the game and also the DLCs. So it's just a period in which things will be really easy. Just a period. It won't be for the whole game. You probably made that Thresh normally weakened so it would be balanced to the curses. You know, you're probably right, Nox, because if you did this on level and you were at half health and half damage against a fully on level Thresh, you would get your ass kicked. I mean, you could probably do it, but it would be really hard. You probably just need to use Reckoning mode. I reckon that's what you'd do. Of course, it's also just a regular Thresh, not a bog Thresh. So it's not as bad. I like these rocks in this area. Let's go give this guy his magical flower. Which we're gonna pretend isn't fucking cocaine.
The champion Engard has yet to return.
I'm the champion, motherfucker. Lorian, I've retrieved the petal.
Well done. I can use the petal to create an elixir for the Almain. He needs only to drink this. If it indeed frees him from the curse, he may leave. And I will finally have hope of saving Ulcerund from the Narca.
What do I do now?
Administer the potion to the Almain. Hopefully, it'll free him of the curse, and we can begin to heal Ulcerund of the Narca affliction.
Okay, hold on. So if you knew that this petal was in that cave, and that getting that petal would potentially free your fellow Fae from the Narca curse, why the fuck didn't any of you go into the cave and get the petal before now? Fucking Fae.
We have waited long for the champion to return.
I'm going to journal about this. Florian has created a poultice from the Korra petal to remove Allard's curse. I should deliver it to Allard.
Wait still.
You've returned. Will the Fae allow me to leave?
Drink this. I mean, it's going to be really weird drinking this since it's a poultice, according to the quest journal. One typically does not drink a poultice, but try to choke it down.
They'll let me go if this works. Fine. I'll drink anything at this point. I can feel the curse leaving me. I'm not just saying that so I can leave. It's like a fever's breaking. I should get back to my wife. Thank you again, and farewell.
I win. I've completed my 117th task. I've completed the Fey rite in the caverns of Ingress. Allard has fully recovered. I've sent him on his way. He and his wife can now leave Ulcerund. Ingress.
That was impressive. Our success with the Almain bears great portent for Ulcerund. If a mortal can be cured, then maybe a Fae can as well. I believe that you could survive a journey through the Fellfire Pit. Will you help us with another task?
Tell me more of this Circle of Engard. Why should I help you?
My brethren and I make up the Circle of Engard. We seek to restore the Fey rights lost when the mortals took the House of Valor. The Circle is holding vigil, waiting for the champion to return.
Tell me more of this land, this Alcerund.
Alcerund is among the last Fey lands untouched by mortal civilization. But it is not without its difficulties. Some of our brethren have fallen to a curse that renders them feral and frenzied.
It kind of pisses me off. Well, it doesn't really piss me off, but it just seems like a missed opportunity. Alright, so they have Desert Fae, obviously. The Desert Fae lands, which is cool, but they should have made the Desert Fae look different from the Forest Fae. They look just like the Forest Fae with all the fucking vines and wood and foresty looking stuff all over them. And they should have made them look deserty for the Desert Fae. You know what I'm saying? It just feels incongruous now. I don't like incongruity. Alright, what do you require?
We wish to repeat our success with the Almain at a much grander scale. To do this, we require the essence of another plant, this time from the Fellfire Pit. The pit is located at the base of the great spine of Alcerund. The flower, the Fellfire bloom, rests there. The only plant that grows in the pit.
Alright, I'll do it.
Excellent! Then head to the Fellfire Pit, where the Guardian of the Bloom awaits.
Farewell, mortal.
Easy.
The Fellfire bloom is the only flower able to grow in the pit. You'll be suitably rewarded for bringing it here.
No, I doubt that I will be, but why do you need this flower?
The flower bestows regenerative properties. We'll use it to heal this land of the Narca curse.
Okay. Where is it?
It is located at the base of the rock structure we call the Great Spine. A magical fire burns within that never dims.
Oh, you should have just told me that. I'd have gone there anyway. Alright, goodbye.
Farewell, mortal.
We are the Circle of Engard.
I know who you are. Florian would like me to descend into the Fellfire Pit, another Fey hollow, to find the Fellfire bloom, the only flower that blossoms in the sulfuric climate of the Fellfire Pit. Again, this is, I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed here when I go there. Oh cool, there's a big stone face. I'm gonna go there and it's gonna be another Fey hollow that doesn't look deserty. Hashtag aquatic desert. Let's see what's going on. Oh, who's this guy?
This will be painful, mortals. Die!
Oh, dig your grave.
Bleed, mortals!
This looks pretty cool. This must be the new discovered House of Valor. No, I don't want to go to the House of Valor yet.
This life offers two choices. Fight or die. Those who choose to live face conflict. It is the natural balance of this world. The weeds preclude the flower's bud. The spider's web arrests the fly. The water carves the rock. In the dry wastes of the Tyr, in the land known as Alcerund, the House of Valar became the home of this primal force.
Take all the fire damage. Burn! Baby, burn! Disco Inferno! Wait, what? Oh, another face. Let's get some of this Scarlet Flowstone right here. Some of this Scarflow, that's what we call it. Nobody calls it that. You don't know. Maybe they do. Dead Apothecary. Hey, what do you know about this?
For the harvest. Flee, mortal!
Rude. There's a lot of these assholes all of a sudden.
This ends now, justling.
Ah, mana drain. Okay, it's getting serious.
Ends now, justling.
It's time.
I will take your grave.
Bleed for me, mortal.
That mana drain is pretty legit. Dude, this encounter would be stupid hard if I was on level. If I was on level, I would have to fucking,
This ends now, justling.
I would have to reckoning that shit. Well, or just use healing potions. That apothecary. Ooh. This guy seems like a guy for a quest. If this elegant wood staff resembles a mage's staff, there's nothing in the slightest magical about it. Look, I'm gonna get a quest to find this guy, guaranteed. And then I'm gonna be like, oh, you mean Eldrick's staff? Yeah, I've already got that.
From the Desert Runner's lethal dance to the chaos of the Wolfpack, the Fae displayed these contests as art. Engard, the embodiment of contention, arose as champion. His strike was as the mantis leg, a bolt amid stillness. He met defeat like the salamander's tail, lost, but only to grow again. He inflicted wounds like the serpent's fang, rotting poison to weaken the mightiest opponent. His baleful stare was the shark's fin above the water's surface, promising a bloody end.
So he was a badass, is what you're trying to say. Hey, what's up, son? How you doing? Welcome. Hey, 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 beautiful entities. It's entities now, not people, huh? You're just covering your bases in case there's any non-people here? Don't summon. I'll dig your grave! And then I'll do some celebratory post-fight chakram tossing. The standard celebratory, you know. I win the fight. Yay, let's throw some chakrams. Basically juggling. It's just much more dangerous juggling. Trying to be more inclusive. I respect that. I respect that. I mean, Entity really covers quite a lot. Covers quite a lot. Can't really go wrong with Entity. I'm good. I'm good, son. I was gonna do a 24-hour stream today to celebrate 500 followers, but I don't know that I feel like it. I don't think I'm going to.
The Great Ones contested Engard's knowledge, and time and again they failed. The combat space was a patch of dirt, which soon became a clearing. The clearing, trampled by the feet of warriors, sunk into the earth and became an arena where the bravest mortals heard the feral clamors of the combatants. The House of Valor was born.
How are you doing, son? Better than other times? Oh, look at these motherfuckers. I know that Flame Champion's immune to fire, but... You know what he's not immune to? Getting hit in the face with a big-ass greatsword. Couldn't do 24 hours. Oh, I've done 24 hours before. Several times. And I'm for sure going to do a 24-hour stream when Pillars of Eternity 2 comes out. And when the Pathfinder... Oh my god, have you guys watched any videos of that Pathfinder RPG that's coming out? I backed it on Kickstarter. It looks amazing. It looks so good. It's basically the exact same style of game as Pillars of Eternity. But, yeah, Kingmaker. Oh my god, it looks good. I was watching some video of somebody playing the alpha of it. It looks a lot better than Pillars of Eternity to me for some reason. It's basically a D&D game, right? It's basically D&D 3.5, which we haven't had a proper D&D game in a very long time. Because let's see, what D&D games have even come out in the last several years? Neverwinter doesn't count. It's an MMO, extremely loosely adapted from the fucking D&D. Sword Coast Legends, shoddy fucking game, extremely loosely adapted from actual D&D. I can't even think of any others. So it's been forever since we had a proper...
So you've come to die. Feed the dirt, Dustling.
Hey, buddy. I will dig your... Listen, I'm gonna dig somebody's fucking grave. It can be you, or it can be... Well, it can be this guy, I guess.
I'm mortal.
I will dig a grave! There we go, finally. If I don't get to dig someone's grave, it makes me sad. Got a bit of paranoia and the shakes to boot, but you're basically okay. Well, sounds like it could be worse. Sounds like it could be worse. Well, no, we got a ton of 3.5 games. Well, we got a ton of 3rd edition games. We got Icewind Dale, or Icewind Dale 2, actually. We got Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2 were very closely adapted. I mean, they were real-time, not turn-based like Temple of Elemental Evil, but... Plus there was that Pool of Radiance one that I never played because everyone said it was really bad. But that was also adapted from... Okay. But yeah, we never got a proper 4th edition video game, which is really sad because everybody says 4th edition is so much like a video game. It would have been perfect to adapt to a video game, but we never got one, and we haven't gotten a 5th edition video game either. So really the last one we got was probably Neverwinter Nights 2, which was a long time ago. Alright, so here's the Fellfire Pit. I'm not gonna go in there yet. I'm still exploring the deserts. I'm annoyed you never have any hot grills watching fire. Well, the problem with grills is they typically don't have eyes. Because, you know, they're a grill. I had to get up, go to the kitchen, which is at least 4 feet away, and use my toaster to light my cigarette. Hey, dude, I have an idea. Buy a fucking lighter. I'm just throwing this out there. I mean, get a one of those cheap-ass, like, you know, disposable lighters that costs, like, practically nothing.
I've never killed a moth. Feed the dirt, dustling.
Dig your grave. Dig your grave.
Nice, your dude.
I buy a lighter, I'm basically admitting to yourself that I'm not a quitter. Yeah, but you already know you're not a quitter, so you know you're gonna smoke anyway. You might as well buy the damn lighter. I don't know. Maybe not. Or, you know, option 2, don't smoke. Throwing that one out there as a possibility. Don't smoke. Crazy idea, I know. Not sure if it's ever been tried. Oh, good. One of these fuckers. Shush you. What is this place? Care something? Some obnoxious Fey Hollow. Hollow if you can hear me. No, that's not how that goes. It's not how that goes at all. Beat up a gangster the other night and now I'm a bit paranoid they'll take revenge. For the love of God, son. Is a day ever coming when you'll start making good decisions?
The walls of Glir Rathwen came crashing to the ocean's turmoil. Our people, despaired and battle-weary, hiding from the ogre's fists, saw Beala Tirin atop the revered spire, dressed in priestly garb and circled by a camp of mages. Wise Tirin called forth the grace of Lyria, her beauteous song, paragon of the ethereal. The people climbed to her side, a summit cloister of spell-woven forces. She smote the Jotun from the hallowed pinnacle, and never again did they return. Rathir, she named the place where sharp rocks break the water's surface. This home for all Dokkulfar, the lunar crag of Lyria, founded in the 14th year after the parting.
Yay, Rathir. I didn't really like Rathir as much as I thought I would. How has he been terrorizing you for 18 months? I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, at least get away with it. At least, you know. Do it so they don't know it was you. Bedrolls. Look, I'm here to steal from some fucking... Oh, shit. Seriously? Chakrams of Ravaging. Oh yeah, bedrolls. These don't sound like real gangsters to me. These sound like fucking posers. Ah, troll.
The Withering War swept across the land. Seelie and Unseelie fought each other. The House of Valor was abandoned for the battlefields of Isa and On. Engard battled hordes as the warriors of Valor thrived on the plains of Eretha. They joined the war, and the Fury threw back the invaders.
Then they had a crazy magic war and it turned the whole place into a desert, right? Right? Kinda took it all out on him. I don't know about you, son.
Ready to go? It's time, mortal.
Like I just drained like half my mana in one bullshit ass spell. That is enough out of you.
I've never killed a mortal. Feed
Well,
the
you're
birds.
not gonna kill one today. Let me give you some fucking news. She said I've never killed a mortal. Like, well, don't get your fucking hopes up. Organized chrome. You gotta watch out for that organized chrome. Bunch of little chicken shits. 400 strong street gang, controlling about 20% of the organized crime in Copenhagen, who have spread into Sweden. Well, why wouldn't they have just killed you? Like, it doesn't sound like, I mean, a gang that big that controls that much organized crime, it doesn't sound like fucking around the way they have been would really... I mean, I don't know how gangs are in Denmark or in Europe in general, but it seems like in America they would have just killed you. I mean, honestly, if they haven't killed you by now, I wouldn't worry about it. You know what I mean? You're probably fine. You could also maybe avoid going to whatever areas you're going to where you're running into these kind of people. What kind of dodgy ass fucking places you're going. Ah, this is the way to the Hollow Lands. I don't want to be hollow right now. Another chest over here. And shit, even if you're not fine. It's alright too, right? I mean, how badly do you even want to live? Maybe I'm just talking from my own perspective here, but... You know, if you die, it's not like it's the end of the world. I mean, it's the end of your life, technically, but... It's not like it's the end of the world. Ooh, Hailstorm, it's a bow. This low sulfur bow from the ice... Ew, the blasphemy of ice. Was sent as a gift to Rathir's Dokkalfar to aid them in their war with the Tuatha De Danann. Gross. Live in the neighborhood where the gang originates. Can't buy cigs without buying... Well, see, there's another reason to quit fucking smoking. Another reason to quit smoking right there, son. Ain't got lighters. Also, getting into fucking, you know, lethal conflict with fucking
Another
criminals.
For the fire.
Inevitable consequences.
Enjoy the pain, mortal.
I'm about to fight a troll and these guys, aren't I? Yeah, this is about to be unhappy times.
It's time, mortal.
Dig your grave! Well, that was easy sauce. Head shield of refuge. I refuse to use that. Hey, I missed a pile of rocks over here. Hold on. No pile of rocks left behind. I mean, do these guys even carry guns? Do they even have guns? Are there guns in Denmark? I don't even... Well, I mean, obviously there's gonna be some guns, but... Are they gonna stab you to death? What are they gonna do? Nobody carries guns here. Dude, I would love to be killed. I mean, I'm not saying I want to be killed right this minute. I'm saying as compared to a lot of other ways to die, right? Like, dying of old age sounds horrible. Dying of any kind of terminal disease sounds horrible. There's lots of ways you could die that would really suck, where like it's a slow, lingering death that takes a long time and there's a lot of misery. Or you could be killed, which is more dramatic, which is cool, right? Because anything which is more dramatic is better, obviously. And people would be more sympathetic for you after you're gone. It'd be more memorable, you know? Like, oh, he died just because. Or, oh, he was murdered. You know what I mean? And you're more memorable. And it's over a lot faster. And you don't have this, like, long period of debilitation preceding your death. You're just dead after one event, you know? So that would actually be ideal. If you're gonna die anyway, which you are, why not get killed? Why not get murdered? The choice of a new generation. Not giving them the satisfaction? We've got a point there. Got a point there. You should just fucking get all armed up yourself and go after them and wage war against them and go out that way. Yeah, they'll get you, but you could take some of them with you. That'd be pretty cool. Problem is, I'd never know about it if you did it. I'd just never hear from you again. I wouldn't ever really get to hear the story, because who would ever tell me?
Have you come to die?
I've actually come to kill. I'll dig your grave! Felt good to go ham on that guy. I haven't done anything violent in 2004 is the year. 14 years. 14 years I've been peaceful. Pacifistic, one might say. Of course, I haven't ever been in a situation in 14 years where it was really, where it really came up, so... It's not like I've been in lots of potentially violent situations and I've been like choosing to be peaceful. It's just more like it hasn't come up.
When the armies of Rome subsided, the Seelie returned to the land, and the House of Valor was forever changed. The conflict of the cycle waned, and the Fae now embodied the peace of the Engard.
Mortal in my path.
No, I'm listening to a thing right now, you guys. God damn it. I'll listen to it after I'm done murdering these guys.
You're going to burn.
I will dig your grave. No, I will dig your grave. Went a bit mental and may have made him rather convinced I was going to molest him. Okay, that sounds kind of gross. That sounds awful. Alright, now what the fuck did that thing say? Also, that was the last one for Alceran, so I got plus 5% armor.
When the armies of Ohm subsided, the Seelie returned to the land, and the House of Valor was forever changed. The conflict of the cycle waned, and the Fae now embodied the peace of sleep. Edgard no longer fought, was without purpose. The great cycle turned through the ages. Seasons passed. A mortal defeated the champion of valor. His name was Hroth Magnus.
I mean, that champion of valor couldn't have been that cool if just some random dude named Hroth showed up and kicked his ass. Wanted to make him scared. I don't know, man. You should turn from these violent ways. That stuff's fine when you're a young man in your 20s. But you're 40 fucking years old, bro. It's time to chill the fuck out. Alright, those aren't very nice items anyway, honestly. I like jumping off of things. I need to go sell some stuff, obviously. I'll go to Moon Camp. It's a good place to sell stuff. Of course, it's easy for me to say because I keep myself more or less sequestered almost all the time. And I'm, you know, avoiding life and not putting myself in situations where I would be tempted or compelled.
Looking to buy?
Looking to sell.
Do you know Grim Onwig?
Yes.
Rumor is the Hierophant tried to have him.
We've been through this, Aaron. We've been through this. Pretty sure you would have done something very similar in my shoes. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what I would have done in your shoes, because I don't know what it's like to be in the exact situation you're in. I'm certainly under no illusions that I'm like some kind of super
And now, come again.
peace man now, or like, you know, oh, no matter what happens, I'm not going to ever use violence. I can't say that. But I can say that I do my best to avoid it and to avoid situations where it even comes up. And so far, I'm going on 14 years. Yeah, that's a long time. 14 years. Should learn to stick with beer. Yeah. Well, no, I won't put up with shit indefinitely, but I don't know. I haven't had any shit to put up with in so long. Like, when I was a teenager living on the streets, I thought the best way forward was to become a badass and to make people fear me and to fuck people up as much as I could so that everyone would know that I was dangerous and nobody would want to fuck with me. That's what I thought I had to do at the time to survive, to get by, to not be victimized, because I just didn't want to be victimized ever again after having been victimized so much. But then I learned what I think is a better way, really better in every single respect, both better morally as well as better in terms of just efficiency and effectiveness, which is just to disarm conflict and aggression by becoming a better person and by learning to have compassion for people and empathy and to project peacefulness and learning to talk to people and to listen to people and understand people so that you don't have to resort to violence, you know? And I really honed that pretty well during my time in prison. And now, you know, if anything starts to heat up, I can cool it back down with just words and my you know, intentions and my presence, without having to be intimidating, without having to be scary. And that to me is much superior. Now, I'm still willing to go the other way if I absolutely had to for some reason, or if somebody really pissed me off, you know, like, I'm not saying I'm immune to rage or to vengefulness. I mean, if somebody did something awful, I'm not saying I wouldn't, you know, go back to that old guy that I used to be so long ago, but violence isn't good, man. It's just not good. It always just causes more problems. And it makes the world a worse place. Even if you solve your problem in the moment, you're contributing to something negative in the culture, in the world. And you're not leaving anyone a better person for it, including yourself. Because the more that you're violent, I mean, I know that you know this from personal experience, the more that it makes you a worse person. And it's not fun. I hated who I was back then. I hated how I felt all the time. And I was really unhappy. And when I learned to love people instead of hate and fear them, I felt a hell of a lot better inside. And I feel a hell of a lot better inside now than I used to. Because I'm not carrying around all that negativity. It's impossible, in my opinion, I don't know, maybe it's not impossible, but it seems impossible to me to be frequently violent and not full of negativity. And to just be a really positive, you know, kind person who just happens to, like, fuck people up all the time. Like, I don't think that's a thing. Maybe it is for somebody out there, but it's not a thing for me. And I don't want to be that kind of person. Okay. Except in this game. In this game, I do want to be that kind of person, because fuck these motherfuckers. Before he drains all my mana, let's use some... Got sick of this guy.
You're going to burn!
Yeah, taking it to any kind of rapey area is really gross, and you should never do that. No matter how mad you are or much you want to scare him, you shouldn't ever introduce a sexual element into violence. That takes it to a whole other level of not okayness. I'm not pleased that you did that. I mean, it's not like you literally raped him, of course. That would have been beyond the fucking pale, but like even threatening something like that is disgusting, frankly. It felt incredibly empowering to do it. Well, yeah, there's always an empowering aspect to terrorizing someone. I mean, that's something that maybe a lot of people don't understand because they've never terrorized anyone, but of course it's empowering. But that doesn't make it a good thing to do. And it's not the... Oh, this isn't an enemy. This is some buddy named Pura, apparently. And it's not a good kind of empowerment either. Because it's the kind of empowerment that leads to you hating yourself. You know, when I was young on the streets, I thought the most important thing, the only important thing, was me not being a victim. That if I could just make myself not a victim ever, then that was it. Then I had done the best thing. I had won. And that nothing else transcended that or mattered more than that. But I learned as I grew older and wiser that that's not the most important thing. Not to me. You know, it might be to you or to anyone else, but to me, that became not the most important thing. I began to care a lot more about what sort of impact I was having on others and on the world, and whether or not I was being true to my principles and myself. I mean, that being said, I still really don't... I'm not going to let anybody victimize me, but... You know, the fear, living in the fear of being victimized is a kind of victimization in itself. You know what I mean? And if that fear is making you act out and do things that are harmful, destructive, or dangerous in order to prevent yourself from being victimized, then in a way you're already being victimized. You're being victimized by yourself. You're keeping yourself in a sort of prison of your own making. So I think it's important to release that fear, to get out of that and say, look, I'm ready to respond if something happens that's not okay, so I can deal with it, but I'm not going to make all these proactive steps in order to keep myself allegedly safe, which are actually keeping me in a state of fear and misery and causing me to do bad things, right? I mean, so it's... And of course, that's what I think, you know, that's what wisdom is learning that line and learning that balance. And it's a constant ongoing process throughout your life, you know. And hypothetically, a person is supposed to get wiser as they get older, as they learn from more and more experiences, as they try to better themselves. But not everybody does. Some people get worse as they get older. I'd like to think that I've gotten wiser as I've gotten older. I'd like to think that I have. Anyway, let's talk to Pura here.
You do not belong here, mortal. The Crown of the Sun is a Fey domain.
The Crown of the Sun? What's the Crown of the Sun?
I do not wish to speak to you about Fey affairs, mortal.
Christ.
This place is older than your mind can grasp, and it will remain long after you are gone.
Fucking Faye. All I've done for you, and you still all treat me like shit. Instincts tend to get the better of me. Yeah, well, you kind of have to train me. I mean, I don't know if you've done any meditation in your life, Meditation is really good. I haven't really been meditating for a long time now, but I used to do a lot of meditation, and it was really helpful. It really alters the way you think, and the way that you think about your own thinking. You become more aware of your own thoughts. Like, you notice yourself thinking things in the early stages, and can then change the course that your thoughts are taking you before it gets to a place where you've generated so much emotion in yourself that you're then carried by that emotion into actions without being able to stop yourself. You practice mindfulness meditation every day. That's awesome. Hopefully it helps you. Alright, who are you exactly?
I am the guardian of the Crown of the Sun. I watch over the new keepers as they meditate in preparation for their time at the crossing. It will be some time yet before I have new charges to shepherd.
Do you know anything about the Narca curse?
They are Summer Fae, but their minds have been altered. They attack any who travel the sands, be they mortal or Fae.
Yes, I've noticed. They're not very nice. What else can you tell me of this land?
Ulcerund is the last bastion of the Fae in Detir, one of the few places in these desert lands where we are plentiful.
Very well. I guess I'll leave you alone. I think I'll have to come back and talk to her for a quest or something. I'm getting that feeling. It's a process. Exactly. It is a process. But you gotta keep trying. You know. When you mess up, you know, just tell yourself, okay, I'll do better next time. I'll do better next time. And then, hopefully you will. I guess I've explored this whole area. I need to go to the Fellfire Pit. There's also Karalatha, but I don't have a quest for that yet. I would say I've explored this whole map, though. I am going to take this crap, even though it's not worth much. I'm taking it. Alright, I think it's Fellfire Pit time. To get this flower for these Fae. My life even come to. I think we lost Nox. Maybe he went sleepy cow. Maybe he just said, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. Wow, there's a lot of heat going on in here. This isn't a typical Fey Hollow. This is a hot cavern of hotness. Started laughing your ass off and just walking. You see, now that sounds exactly like me in my teenage years. I was very brutal, very heartless, and it did amuse me to hurt people and to see them in pain and fear. But I've definitely changed a lot in that regard. Like, that would not make me happy now. I wouldn't laugh at someone's pain and fear. Well, I say that, but I guess it depends on what they had done exactly. Hypothetically, a situation could happen. Are you fucking kidding me right now, Sprite Flame Champion? No, I don't think so. I don't think, even no matter what they've done, I don't think I could take that kind of delight in the suffering of another the way I used to. I think my heart has changed too much since then. No matter, even if they had done, like, the most unspeakable shit, To me, I don't think so. I think I'd forgive them, because forgiveness is a huge part of my belief system now, and my general approach to life. I think forgiveness is hugely important, and so I do forgive people, even if they hurt me, or even if they do terrible things to others. And if you forgive somebody, you don't want to see them suffer. I think vengefulness is a really toxic feeling. I say that, though. The thing is, I say that because I can conveniently say that. Because nothing's happened that would have awoken those kind of feelings in me in so long. You don't think I'm a very nice human being? Yeah. Probably not. Well, I don't think being nice, per se, is necessarily something we should strive for. Niceness, to me, feels like a tactic. It feels like something that people are in order to achieve a certain result. In order to make people like them, or to get people to respond to them in a certain way, or do what they want, or to, you know, feel like a good person. I don't have a lot of respect for niceness as such. But compassion and kindness are a different story. That's more, it's more of a matter of intention than like specifically how you act. Like how much you care about other fucking people and their suffering and their needs compared to your own. Like you could be very compassionate and still not be nice. Or you could be very nice and still not really be compassionate. I have a feeling something terrible is about to happen here. Because I'm just, you know, I'm about to get jumped by a Niskaru fucking tyrant or something. Yep. I gotta switch swords. Gotta switch to Gerstestad. Wow, this is the easiest Niskaru tyrant fight I've ever had. I will dig her grave! I will dig her grave! I will dig her grave! Wow, that was a cakewalk. Fucking... That's what happens when you fight gray mobs. They're super easy, even if they're supposed to be super hard. That's kind of sad, actually. It kind of makes me sad that that Niskaru tyrant was that easy. Because every other Niskaru tyrant I fought has kicked my ass. You'd like to become the kind of human being that I could like and respect. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. I don't really know how one becomes. I mean, you just gotta keep trying, I guess. But it's about changing how you think about things, you know? Because I think... Fellfire Bloom, got it. I should return to Florian with the Fellfire Bloom in hand. Florian hopes that the Fellfire Bloom will allow the Circle of Engard to rid Alcerand of the Narca curse. I think... our beliefs, well, the things that we believe to be true about the world, sort of manufacture or inform our feelings about things. And then our feelings really strongly guide our actions. So it's really hard to change your feelings directly. It's really hard to change your actions when your feelings are leading you to do certain things a certain way. But you can kind of manufacture your beliefs to a certain extent. I mean, you can manipulate your beliefs. And I think doing so, kind of training your mind to think about the world in different ways and believe different things, then you'll feel different ways about things, and then you can act different ways. But, you know, reading, meditation, and of course lots of conversation about these kind of things with people too really helps. You know, having the right kind of influences as well. You know, if you're always just around people that are nothing but negative and nothing but dark and violent and selfish and bitter and vicious, and that's the only people that you're interacting with, then that's gonna really kind of keep you in that mind space as well. Whereas if you're interacting with people and discussing with people that have a different worldview than that, that can help you elevate yourself out of it as well. Learning not to just react. Yeah, like when I was in prison, they made me take a cognitive thinking course. I mean, I don't know if that was exactly, I don't know what it was called. Maybe it wasn't cognitive thinking, whatever it was. I think people just called it cognitive thinking, but it had an actual name, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, a lot of it was about what you're saying, which is like not just reacting, about actually thinking things through before you do something. And considering your reasons for doing something and what the consequences are going to be, and etc., etc. What's up, kobolds? Get chakrammed. Back when your axe hung himself, you kind of lost the ability to treat humans humanely. Yeah. Yeah, well, certainly, terrible trauma can do that. And it's the kind of thing that can stick with you for the whole rest of your life if you don't heal it somehow, you know? And you're never going to completely heal it, obviously. That kind of pain is never going to completely go away. But I think you can kind of sublimate that into being more of a scar that makes you stronger and gives you wisdom, versus an open wound that constantly causes you to lash out like a wild animal, you know? But that's something that you have to work through. I mean, that's why people go to therapists and that sort of thing, is hopefully to be able to work through some of the stuff. But you don't have to go to a therapist. You can work through that stuff on your own, or just with, like, you know, people that you know. But you have to be willing to, like, face it and confront it, and that can be really hard. Some people are just not ever able to do that with some of their worst trauma. The only creatures on the planet you genuinely felt something for were your pets. You had plenty of friends, but they weren't actually friends. They were a source of food and drugs and protection and such. Yeah, I hear that. I do hear that. I've been in that place. Like, there was a time in which I thought I was a sociopath. Now, I don't think I'm a sociopath now. And by that I mean, I don't think I've ever been a sociopath, per se. But there was a time where I felt like I very well could be one. I think I wasn't. I think in my case, it wasn't really sociopathy. It was just a combination of trauma and depression. that caused me to not feel any... It's not that I didn't have empathy. I've always had empathy. But, like, you have to care about it, right? Like, empathy... Not having empathy suggests that you don't understand what other people are feeling, or that you can't sort of sympathize with their feelings. And I've never had that total lack of empathy like that. But, like, there were times when I just didn't care. Like, I understood how other people were feeling, and I felt sympathetic toward them. Hey now, where did these guys come from? Suddenly ninja boggarts. Get burned, sons. But I just didn't care to the point where I acted like a sociopath, you know? But for me, I think it was other issues. I don't think I'm actually a sociopath, or ever was. Became really fucking vicious and violent. Really delight in hurting people. No, I get it. Trust me. I fucking get it. I did some sick shit in my teen years. And really enjoyed it. Not a sociopath, I'm just screwed up. Well, everybody's screwed up, aren't they?
It is good to see you, mortal.
I got your stupid flower.
Excellent. You have my thanks, child. Now, we can use the power of the Fellfire Bloom to begin the removal of this curse from our lands. We will, however, require your services once more to accomplish this. Will you aid us again?
Are you fucking serious? I need to do something else? What must I do?
Seek an audience with the keepers of the crossing, and then administer the sample of Fellfire Bloom to the heart of this land. With luck, you will free this entire region from the Naka affliction.
How will it heal this region?
The restorative properties of the Fellfire Bloom will remove the Naka's affliction from the font of the crossing.
That didn't answer my question, but okay. You're really worried that you can't change? I would say no, don't worry about that. I mean, you can definitely change. Everyone can change. I've seen far too many people in prison and elsewhere that have completely turned themselves around. People who were worse than you and I, who completely turned themselves around. You can definitely change. The question is, will you have the correct circumstances, environment, influences, and resources that you need in addition to the motivation in order to change? It's not a question of whether you can change, it's more a question of whether or not things will work out in such a way that you will. A lot of which is on you, but it's not 100% on you. Some of it comes down to luck or circumstances, serendipity or whatever, but then again, by really making an effort to get out there and create that kind of change in yourself or your life, you also sort of usher in a lot of that serendipity yourself. So, I mean, all you can do is try, man, you know? All you can do is do your part and hope that it works out. And hope that the things that you need will come. And in my experience, in my life, it's always gone that way. If I do my part, the world, the universe does its part, and things work out. But, you know, like, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in life. The Naga affliction, when you wake up with a sniffle and a snake tail. Why a sniffle? Need to get the fuck out of this neighborhood. Yeah, that neighborhood you live in sounds pretty bad if you're constantly running into fucking violent criminals and shit everywhere you go. Alright. Why the crossing? What is the crossing?
The Summer Fae who live here are tied to the land, and the land in turn is tied to the crossing.
Yo, frustratingly non-specific in these things, Fey man. And who are these keepers? Why do I need to talk to them?
You must invoke the Keeper's right in order to reach the crossing. The first step is to challenge Pura at the Crown of the Sun to battle.
Oh yes, I
You
met
need
her. She
proof
was
that
very
you have
rude.
bested her to pass through Caer Alatha.
Easy. Alright, I'll do it.
Very well. Defeat Pura, and she will give you the Amulet of the Sun. Take the amulet to the Keepers at Caer Alatha, and they will allow you to pass. At the bottom of Caer Alatha, you'll find the font of the crossing. Place the sample of Fellfire Bloom atop it.
Wait, give me that one more time.
Go to the Crown of the Sun, where Pura trains replacement keepers, and challenge her to battle.
Easy.
Only if you defeat her
I will.
she grant you the Amulet of the Sun, which you will require to enter the crossing. Then, delve into the depths of Caer Alatha and find the crossing. Place the sample of Fellfire Bloom atop the altar at its center.
Okay, I can do all that.
If our theory is correct, your help in this matter will finally free Ulcerund of the Narker.
I've completed my 118th task. I've returned the flower to Florian. He and the Circle of Engard can now begin work on ridding Ulcerund of the fey curse that created the frenzied Narca. Wait, or by he and the Circle can now begin work, what I mean to say is, now I can continue work and do everything while they stand around in a stone circle. I should speak to Pura and invoke the Keeper's right in order to gain access to the crossing at the Fey Hollow, Caer Alatha. Alright, well, we've already met Pura. She wasn't very nice. It's literally the worst, most violent couple of square kilometers you can find in all of Scandinavia. Yeah, that sounds like a bad place to live. Or a great place to live if you're there in a different context and with different goals. But I don't think that's where you're at right now. Alright, Pura. Let's do this. Let's do this.
A child of dust? What brings you to the Crown of the Sun? The desert is unkind to mortals.
Well, tell me about yourself, Pura, before I kick your ass.
I am the guardian of the Crown of the Sun. It is my role to watch this sacred place and see to the safety of the keepers in training.
That sounds important. What is the crossing?
Florian told you of it. They must trust you implicitly. It is one of many sources of our worldly power. It is an almost limitless source of magical energy, closely tied to the essence of Ulcerund.
Okay. And the Keepers. What is your significance?
They spent hundreds of years here in preparation of their duties. I am tasked with meeting their needs, ensuring they are ready. It will be several hundred years before the replacements for the current keepers arrive.
When there was still a club out here, white women stopped coming here because they'd get assaulted and gang raped. It happened like a dozen times. That sounds fucking horrific. Eventually the last club closed and the gang kept escalating their violence against the staff and ended up stabbing someone like 20 times in the process. You don't have, like, police that deal with things like this? Are the police corrupt? Are the police corrupt? Ha! Trick question. Of course they are. Alright, I'm invoking the Keeper's Right.
Florian and the Circle sent you to access the crossing? It is highly unusual for a mortal to invoke a Fey right, but your aura is most unlike a mortal's. Very well. Prepare yourself.
One thing I don't like is how incredibly lazy they were with the spellcasters in this game. Every spellcasting enemy uses the exact same fucking spells. I mean, they've got 2 fucking spells, and every one of them uses the same ones.
You are a skilled combatant.
It's really sad.
It's no wonder you've earned the respect of Florian and his circle. The Amulet of the Sun is yours, and with it your right to descend to the crossing.
That was really easy. Thanks, Pura. I should speak to Maxon and Halcyon, the crossing keepers. Florian believes that the fell fire bloom has the power to remove the Narca curse from Alcerund. She gave me the thingy. Amulet of the Sun. It glows with a golden sheen. Police are cracking down hard on the area right now. Arrested like 100 people. Yeah, man. I don't know. Be good to be away from all that. What's up, Saito? You know what I'm saying, Saito, about the fucking moveset, right? Every fucking person that you fight that uses magic throws 3 fucking little tornadoes at you, and then they shoot 3 little firebolts at you, and they teleport. That's all they do. Every one of them does the exact same fucking thing. What is that shit? Even when they're like major bosses or whatever, they do the exact same fucking thing. It's sad. Welcome, Saito. How you doing? Oh, Nox is here too. Have you been sleepy, Cow Nox? We haven't heard from you in a long time.
You will find the crossing in the deepest depths of Keralatha.
The deepest depths.
The Amulet of the Sun allows you to access the tunnels that will take you there.
The tunnels.
Alright. Goodbye, Pura. I'd say it was a pleasure, but it wasn't. Not been doing God. I've done God. Not gonna go into further details on that, actually. Second coming. Nice. Don't grumble and roar at me, whoever the fuck you are. We're going to Keralatha. I come not to bring peace, but with a Saito. Oh, that was a really jacked up Jesus quote there. That's one of the more interesting things that Jesus said, actually. Come not to bring peace, but a sword. I always perceive it as sort of the mental sword. You know, the mind is a sword, and the sword is the sort of discriminating force of discernment and analysis and finding the truth, and sort of like the sword by which you dissect your mind. I don't know, I'm not explaining this well at all. I don't know how to explain it, but like everything, almost everything in the Bible is highly sort of symbolic and metaphorical to me. So I see almost everything in the Bible as meaning something else besides whatever it sounds like it literally means. And in this way, I am able to make sense of the Bible and use it as a tool that I can believe in without anything in it, like, conflicting with what I actually believe. Because I'm just basically making up my own meaning for everything that it says. And then I can be like, yeah, no, I totally... The Bible? Yeah. I agree with the Bible, if interpreted in my specific way. Jesus was a scion. Totes. You feel scandalous? Wonder whose name God screams in bed. I do believe the intent of that statement is that the faithful will be saved, and all the rest of us are going to get wrecked. Oh, I don't believe... that's the opposite of what I believe. I believe in universal salvation. Insofar as there's a God, which I don't necessarily think there is, but if there is one, and if there is such a thing, well, I mean, universal salvation is just the term that you have to use when you're talking to Christians in this context. I don't really believe that there's a need for salvation, because I don't really believe that there's anything to be saved from. I don't believe in original sin. I don't believe that human beings are inherently flawed or tainted in any way. I don't believe that any things that we do or think or feel could ever possibly separate us from God, if there was a God, or from the, you know, eternal cosmic creative force of the universe or whatever, or from that essence within us that is our best selves and our highest selves and most capable of things. I don't believe that anything can permanently separate us from that. I certainly don't believe there's any kind of, like, eternal punishment for anyone. Even if there is an afterlife, I think that afterlife is positive, or at least neutral for everyone. So I don't think there's really any need for anybody to be saved from anything. But even if there is a need for people to be saved from something, I think that salvation is guaranteed to every single person, whether they believe in Jesus or any other specific God or religion or not. But again, I don't really think there's anything we need to be saved from in the first place. He's gonna come with a sword and give everyone flowers and cake. Except Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, except Tommy Wiseau. Except gnomes. If there's gnomes in the real world, those fuckers aren't getting saved. Alright. I came in here. I'm going back the way I just came right now. Why am I going back the way I just came? Did I already loot this? Yes. Tommy Wiseau is the other in Triskelion, basically. Actually, I like Tommy Wiseau. I do. He's adorable in his own crazy, fucked up way. What's up, Dennis? How you doing? I didn't notice you sneak in here. How's the game so? Well, pretty good. I mean, you say so far, but I'm 108 hours into this, so at this point, I think I have a pretty good idea of how good the game is, and it's pretty good. Getting hyped about the session Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna play some D&D on Friday. Saito's actually gonna DM. And it's gonna be Dark Sun, which is my favorite setting. Even though I never run Dark Sun games. I was kind of planning a Dark Sun game. Actually, I wasn't kind of planning. I was planning the shit out of a Dark Sun game. I have a lot of stuff written up for it. But then I changed my mind and wanted to do something different instead. So now I'm working on something different instead. But I'm, like, still reading a lot of Dark Sun books and listening to an audiobook of the first of the Dark Sun novels, which is really good, by the way. I've already read this book like 3 times, but now I'm listening to it on audiobook because I like listening to stuff when I'm out walking, which I do a lot. Never enjoyed a gnome-free D&D experience, I can only imagine. I know, right? Yay, no gnomes. You're liking that Far Cry 5 so far? Yeah, it looks really good, Dennis. It looks really good. Of course, I've watched you playing it. I've watched several other streamers playing it. Definitely looks like something I want to play. I'm gonna lurk some and feed the gnome. I don't know what that means exactly, but I don't think I want to. But alright, we'll see you later, son. Have a good one. Gone into a lot of the lore. Josiah, you'll probably be picking. Well, you remember my memory, though. That's the thing, Saito. You probably, at this point, I'm sure you literally know more about Dark Sun than I do, because you've read a lot of stuff recently and remember all of it, and most of my Dark Sun knowledge comes from a long time ago, and I've forgotten almost all of it. So, like, I probably will miss lots of things that you would think that I would get just because I've forgotten. As I do. I mean, shit, if I don't play a game for 2 days, I completely forget what was going on in the game. How many hours have you put into Far Cry 5, Dennis? Alright, here's this Fae that we need to talk to. Maxon and Halcyon. This is Maxon. Chillin' and Maxon. It's like riding a Bakari. I see what you did there, Saito. I see what you did. You know, I looked it up, and I think it's super weird that that version of Dark Sun that you have has Mikalots being as fast as the other things, because in every edition prior to this, I looked it up, in every edition they were slower. They were slower than everything. And that was like their main disadvantage. So I don't know why. And Mikalot Dirks were even slower than normal ones, not faster. So I don't know what they were tripping on when they made those speeds for those animals in this version. And that was the whole point. They were really hard to kill, and they could pull a ludicrous amount of weight, but they were slow. Now, if they're just as fast, yeah, why the fuck wouldn't you just grab a Mikalot and throw a fucking giant howdah on the back of that thing and use it all the time, everywhere you go? Because, you know, the slower you cross the desert, that means the more water you're using. Of course, you do still have to fucking feed and water that thing. And I don't know that there were ever specific rules on, like, how much water and food do you actually have to use for your... Well, yeah, they're expensive, of course. That's true. That's also a factor. Alright, anyway, let's talk to Maxon, I guess. I'm getting kind of sick of these Fae, honestly, and their bullshit that they make me do.
Welcome to Caer Elath, mortal. We have not had visitors in a very long time. What do you seek?
I have some questions for you before we get down to business. Do you know Pura? I recently fought her.
Always dear Pura has stood vigil at the Circle of the Sun, awaiting the new keepers to give them direction. It was she who led Halcyon and myself to the crossing when we first arrived in Amalur.
What is the crossing?
It is a nexus of energies, a place where magic flows infinitely. There are few such places on Amalur, and the keepers are tasked with protecting them.
I think there's a decent crafting system in this. You make weapons and armor by combining different parts with different principles with different stats to create the specific kind of stat thing that you want. I don't really do it though. And then, oh yeah, and then you can also put gems in the things, and you make different kind of gems by combining kinds of shards and stuff. And you can make potions out of different kinds of herbs. But I hate crafting. The keepers are tasked with protecting them, right. So, what's so special about the keepers?
The keepers live to prevent use of the crossing by either Fae Empire. Its power is such that both Summer and Winter Fae have agreed to leave its power unharnessed.
That's weird. That's a Fae thing right there. You bet your ass humans would not do that. If humans found something that was really powerful, they would use that shit. They would go to war to use that shit. They wouldn't be like, oh, this is really powerful, we're just gonna leave it alone. So the winter and summer Fae, they are so opposite and yet complementary, yes?
Yes, I am Winter Fae and Halcyon is Summer Fae. That is the nature of the crossing. A representative from both courts remains here for balance. I always distrusted the Summer Fae, but it is difficult to distrust your only companion. Over the centuries, Halcyon and I have grown to rely on one another.
Tell me about Halcyon.
Halcyon is my companion, and a revelation. I never in my lives spoke to a Summer Fae, yet now I see that winter and summer are not so different.
Winter and summer are completely different. They're literally opposites. For some reason, I feel like asking you about sage crafting. It's a bit of a non sequitur, I know.
I am quite skilled at sage crafting. It is one of my roles. I will aid you if you require it.
I don't. Tell me of this place, Karalatha. Is it really just another Fey Hollow, just like the 50 Fey Hollows I've already been in, or...?
It is no accident that Karalatha is a place of great spiritual confluence. The crossing's flow of energy has influenced the landscape, shaped it as the ancients once did.
Well, I have need of the crossing. So all that stuff about we're not going to use it, that's done. We're going to use it now.
To deal with the Narca curse. If Pura has given you the means to pass, then do so. You should seek out Halcyon. He will assist you in this.
A dreadnought. That does sound pretty awesome, Saito. He's Mr. White Christmas, he's Mr. Snow. The other guy is Mr. Green Christmas, he's Mr. Sun. What the fuck is that a reference to? Didn't I already ask you about Pura?
She is the guardian of the crown of the sun and a powerful sorceress. But you have defeated her.
She wasn't really a powerful sorceress.
It is no wonder Florian and the others of the House of Valor have come to place their trust in you.
She had the exact 2 weak-ass spells that everyone else has. Honestly, I would qualify her spells as cantrips. Not even proper fucking spells. Alright, she was like a level 1 D&D wizard. I mean, keep it real here. Powerful sorceress. What is the Crown of the Sun?
It is where the replacement keepers go to prepare for their work at the crossing. When it is time for them to assume their posts, they enter into combat with Pura, as you did. If they survive, she brings them here, as she did with us.
Where is Halcyon?
We keepers routinely delve into the depths of Karalatha to make minute adjustments to the crossing, ensuring its power remains under control. Find the crossing, and Halcyon will undoubtedly be nearby.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Maxine.
Take caution in these lands, mortal. Your kind is particularly susceptible to its dangers.
I don't think you have the slightest idea what my kind is. You need to tell this land to be cautious when I'm in it. I'm the one who knocks. She be cantrippin'? Nice knocks. I'm the one who knocks? Oh. I'm the one who knocks. Could be like his catchphrase, because his name is Knox. Mind blown. Alright. I should delve into the depths of Karalatha, make my way to the crossing, and speak to Halcyon. The amulet that Pura gave me should allow me into the hollow. It's actually this D&D one-shot that I really want to run soon. Well, it won't realistically be a one-shot because it's too long to finish in one session. But Ancient Leonash, I will dig your grave in a second. But what's cool about it is it has a set of pre-made characters that are all monsters. And not like the normal monster races that you'd play as a character like, oh, goblins and minotaurs. Like, weird races that you'd almost never play. You know, like, these are not races that are typically presented as playable characters. Like a Myconid. And a harpy, and like, what else is there? Well, anyway, they're all different ones, and you're in the depths of the Underdark, and you have to work together with these other monsters to survive. It's pretty cool, and it's just a short adventure. A gorilla bear. I've still never... Oh, there we go. Brilliantly casting fire spell on Flame Champion. I will dig your grave! I hate those fucking plants. Like, okay, it's a Myconid, a Harpy, a Dark Creeper, a Troglodyte, a Quaggoth, and... what was the other one? There's 6. I just feel like it's going to be difficult to find enough players for that. If it's just going to be a little short-term thing. I see you, Death Plant. Don't think I'm fooled. No, not a flump. That's ridiculous. No one would ever play a flump. I mean, they're all humanoid. But they're weird humanoids that typically wouldn't be played. What was the other one? I mean, it's not even something so common as a Sverfneblin or a Darrow or... oh, a Darrow would have been cool, but... it's something else weird. No, it's not an owlbear. I see you, Death Plant. You think you're gonna get me? Oh, shit. You would be right. I was gonna be saucy there and be like, you think you're gonna get me? And then teleport away, but he actually did get me. Be my bar guest. Bluffs don't exist on Athos. I think that is a great ruling. I think I support that 100%. The Dark Sun Council supports you in this. By the way, if you ever have any questions about Dark Sun... Now, this isn't an official source, per se. It's not like one of the developers, but I don't know if you know about Athos.org. Athos.org is a Dark Sun fan website that's been going since the early days of Dark Sun. Well, not since the early days of Dark Sun. There was no fucking World Wide Web then. But, like, it's been going longer than any other site, and they've amassed an enormous amount of information and have produced a lot of content as well. And they're pretty fucking knowledgeable about Dark Sun. Well, the interesting thing is the guy who's the founder of that site is actually a real-life friend of mine, Robert Aducci. I think he works for Wizards now as like some kind of community manager or something, or organized play manager. I don't know what he's doing. There's a mountain troll. Get up, this dude's out of control. Alright. I like the critical way you talk about things. Any tip for someone about to start playing this game? What's up, Cad Buska? How you doing? Welcome. Any tip? Well, I mean, the game's honestly pretty easy. Even if you don't take advantage of all the systems it has to offer, you still shouldn't have much of a problem. I feel like you can be successful no matter how you build your character. So, really, it's just a matter of making up a play style and a build that you enjoy, because you can really use any of the weapons or skill trees and be fine, I think. Ow! Okay, there's a tip. When you see those plants that look like that, don't let them hit you. Motherfuckers! That didn't go the way I thought it was going to go in my head. I've seen it a few times, but I mostly tried sticking to official content. Yeah, the game's very forgiving about retooling your characters, so don't worry about making permanent mistakes too much. That's true. Definitely, you can definitely just experiment with stuff. Hips. I don't know. I feel like the game is kind of easy enough that you don't really need much in the way of strategy. I'm playing on the hardest. Now, of course, I'm out-leveling this. Oh, I guess I would give you one tip. This is more tuned to my playstyle than anything else, I guess, but I would say don't go wandering all over the fucking map, all over the world. You should do like one area at a time, I think. Because when you first enter an area on the map, and by area I mean individual little blob here, right? The Wolves is an area, Lurkerine is an area, Glendara is an area. You can see the areas because they've got these little skinny passages between them. As soon as you enter an area for the first time, and that also goes for dungeons, as soon as you enter a dungeon for the first time, or a blob on the map, it sets the level of that area permanently to whatever level you are, but within a range. So you know, Alcerund might have a range of 8 to 22 or 10 to 22 or something, where if you come in here and you're lower than level 10, it's going to set this zone to level 10 forever. If you come in here and you're higher than level 22, it's going to set this zone to level 22 forever. If you come in here and you're some other level in between there, it will set the zone to that whatever level you are forever. But the problem is, if you're low level and you go wandering all over the place and not completing things and just like unlock a whole shitload of zones and then go back and you're doing stuff back here, then you're going to set a lot of areas at a really low level. And they'll never level up, and then you'll go there, and everything will be low level. It'll be super easy for you. It'll drop shitty gear. Well, everything drops shitty gear anyway, but it'll drop shittier loot, and everything will be all easy. So don't really enter areas unless you're really ready to do everything in that area. Try to, because otherwise you're going to be locking areas at a level that's lower than maybe you're going to want it to be when you go there to do stuff later, I guess. I'm not explaining it well, but... Also, almost all the dungeons have a quest associated with them, and I think it's best to not go into the dungeons until you have that quest. Yeah. So that's a tip, I guess. But even that is not really mandatory. Any build you make is good to go. I think so. I mean, I haven't deliberately tried to make the worst build possible, but I don't think there is. I mean, I don't think there is a worst build. You could use any of the weapons and any of the types of things and do fine. This depends on how you want to play. Chakrams are the most powerful weapon, in my opinion, of all the base weapons. They seem really easy to use. I think Scepter is like the worst weapon. Hammer doesn't seem great either because it's really slow, but it really depends on your playstyle. I'm sure there's people that played Assassin's Creed Origins and really loved using Heavy Blunt, for example, which made my soul bleed when I had to use it. You know the ones in the tier that don't have quests? No, I do not know the ones in the tier that don't have quests, Saito. Tell me. Easiest is probably Mage or Mage Warrior. Yeah, if you're having trouble with the game, put some points in fucking Chakram Mastery and use Chakrams and just... I mean, honestly, you could just use nothing but Chakrams and no fucking special skills and go through this game with no difficulty. Because they're just that good. This Mark of Flame spell is really good, though. It's really good. It's overpowered. And if you go into Sorcery, you can get a heal for yourself either, so then you'll basically won't have to use healing potions very often anymore. Might, to me, doesn't seem like that great of a tree. Unless you just really want to use one of the might-based weapons, which is Longsword, Greatsword, and Hammer, just for your own fun. Like, I really just want to use Greatswords just because I like them. I wouldn't say they're that powerful. Like, realistically, if I wasn't going for, like, a theme, like a role-playing theme, I wouldn't even put any points in Might, probably. I might put a little bit in, like, Skillful Defense and Hardy Constitution, but... I'd probably just go into nothing but sorcery, or... Now, the first time I played this, which I didn't play that far in the game, but, I played through part of the game a long time ago with a pure finesse build, and I used the bow, and I used the daggers, and it's fine, too. Shadow Flare is actually pretty good. Anything which staggers enemies, especially if it staggers an AoE of enemies, like Shadow Flare, or like, this Mark of Flame can stagger multiple enemies at once, and casts really quickly, is really good, because preventing them from all, like, constantly leaping at you and hitting you over and over is pretty nice. You know, you're going to want to dodge a lot, but it took me a while to get used to also blocking sometimes. I never used to want to block, and I had a harder time. Once you get used to using both dodge, course, your normal dodge isn't going to look like this unless you have one of the magical-based destinies, but using both dodge and block, it makes things easier. Pervar's Doorstep. Even that one you might go into depending on a quest choice. Interesting. You know, I just realized, I think there is a... Did I actually go to every fucking dungeon here now? Pretty sure I did. Shining Labyrinth. I have not been to Shining Labyrinth. Because that's the one that you told me you might go into depending on a quest decision. I don't know if I've gotten to the point yet where I would have made that decision. I don't remember making any decisions anytime recently. I think you'd play this, Malik. It's really good. It's really big, too. This map is huge. I mean, you can't really tell, but each of these areas is pretty big, and you can just run between them. There's no loading screens or anything. I mean, like I said, it's taken me 108 hours to explore, like, this much of the map, and there's still the rest of this down here, and all this over here, and all this over here, and the DLC areas also. So it's a big game. I'm in a dungeon right now. I'm not inside. I'm not out in the open world, but my only complaints about the game, well, I guess I haven't. The longer I play it, the more complaints I get, but none of them are big enough complaints to make me stop playing. My complaints are, there's the traversal of the environment isn't great. Like, you can't climb anything, you can't vault over anything, you can't jump over or off of anything except at very specific pre-designated jump spots, and there's not very many of those. So traversal of the environment is not great, which I don't like, because I like being able to climb on things and jump off of things. There's no mounts, so sometimes when you have to run around a lot, you know, it gets a little bit tiresome. Of course, you can fast travel, so you don't have to run around as much, but still, sometimes it feels like it'd be nice to have a mount. Ooh, the mantis's legs. The prey is dead before the strike. Fey proverb. Well, those aren't something I'm going to use, but some fine merchant will enjoy buying those from me. Fuck the dispelling minigame. That's another tip. Put some points in dispelling, because the dispelling minigame, to me, is kind of hard. And if you don't have any points in dispelling, it's going to be really hard. Robes of Rancidness. Okay, I don't care what stats those have. Those are not something I would wear. That sounds gross. Ancilla boxes. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Ancilla boxes. Also, right now, I'm really overpowered because I've out-leveled the area that I'm in to the point that all these mobs I'm fighting are gray. And that means they're super easy, even though I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. But if I was fighting monsters that were of the appropriate level for me, things wouldn't, you know, be so easy. Boggart Plague Bearers. Black Cohosh. Yeah, Mage Warrior seems pretty good. Pretty fun. But But like I said, the first time I played this, I played pure finesse and I was fine. You know, you get 2 weapon sets that you can switch between in combat really easily, really quickly. You can switch back and forth between your 2 weapons. And I say recommendation would be to make one of them Harbinger's shoes, one of them a melee weapon and one of them something with range, but you don't have to do that. Like, I use a greatsword and chakrams, and chakrams are just stupid. I mean, in a good way. What did I just find? Harbinger's shoes. These enchanted garments belong to Garvin Duloc, once a lowly Almain scribe. His fortunes changed when he became the first human to command the elements. This gives me... Oh, these suck. I mean, they have some nice set bonuses, but I don't have any other pieces of the set, so... Lol, set items in this. Another complaint. Random loot in this, so good luck ever getting a set. Also, traversal of the environment, no mounts. I don't like the way level scaling thing works. I'd rather everything just scale up to my actual level so that things could remain challenging. They're bringing Fable back? That's not good news to me. I mean, I'm glad it's good news to you. But I think Fable games are terrible. Like, everything that I dislike about this game in terms of not mechanics, but like narrative, setting, theme, tone, elements. Everything that I dislike about this game in that respect is like dialed up to 11 in fucking Fable. I don't like the fact that I have to swim everywhere in this fucking place. Entire massive side quest revolving around the wholesale destruction of gnomes. Well, destruction of gnomes is good, but I've tried a couple of the Fable games. And I've watched people playing them, and ugh. Fable is like, what if The Sims was an RPG? Now, maybe you're the kind of person who likes The Sims, and so then the question, what if The Sims were an RPG, sounds cool to you. But I'm not that person. I'm surprised you don't like The Sims, Saito, because don't you love fucking houses and making stuff and all that horrible stuff you do in The Sims? Customizing things and... I want to go on adventures when I play a game. Like, I don't want to do work. Like, I don't want to do things that would constitute work in real life. And of course, obviously running around fighting stuff would actually constitute work in real life, but I don't know. I don't want to do small business management. I don't want to do fucking, like, you know, contracting. I don't want to fucking have a job if it's a mundane job. Like, could I go out and start doing this in real life right now? Yes? Then I don't want to do it in a game.
You should feel privileged. The crossing is not a place of mortal business. You are the first to come this far.
What's up, Halcyon? I have need of the crossing.
That essence of the Fellfire bloom is meant for the crossing, yes? To cure this region of the Narca curse. I will not allow it. Florian, in all his wisdom, does not see what I see.
And what do you see?
That the crossing is a solution to this long winter. No Fey empire has ever risen so. It is not the way of things. I have been using the power of the crossing to gradually tip the balance of magic in favor of the Summer Fey in Ulcerund, but this had unfortunate side effects.
Uh-oh, we got somebody abusing his power. Hey, what's up, Dank Bro? 2. Welcome. My gear looks awesome today. Yeah, I love my gear now. It looks really good. It's Prismere stuff. What side effects?
The crossing is tied to the magical essence of this land, and so are the Fae of this region. My tampering has driven them to madness. It is a necessary corruption. Better for a few of us to be mad than to wait for this long winter to end.
Oh, I get it. He caused the narco curse, or the narca curse. This is like the main fucking cocaine cartel leader of the Fae here. You know, in essence. Then what happens now?
I end you.
Okay.
Florian and the others
Good luck
cannot
with that,
know
pal.
what I've done. Not until I am finished and the long winter ended. Fare you well.
Look, I don't even have my hand on the keyboard right now. That's how unconcerned I am. Alright, I'm getting more concerned. I will dig your grave! Apparently I won't dig your grave. Listen, Mr. Backaway. He's like, I end you. Listen, I hate to tell you this, Halcyon, but you're gray to me. You're literally gray to me. So, don't lip off. Alright. Let's journal. Now that Halcyon has been defeated, I should find the altar that Florian spoke of and place the sample of Fellfire bloom atop it, in hopes that doing so will free Ulcerund of the Narca curse. You know, when I first started talking to this guy, I got excited because I thought, oh, I'm going to get to make a choice. A moral choice. This is going to be one of those things where, like, oh, you could place the flower here and it will do this. And here will be the consequences. Or you could do things my way and they'll have these other consequences. And both have their advantages and disadvantages. Which do you choose? But no. No, I didn't get that. Just some asshole trying to kill me with his generic-ass spells. That's the other thing. My other complaint is the longer I play this, the more I feel like the developers were really fucking lazy. Like, when you first start playing this for the first, you know, 30 hours, everything seems all novel and innovative and cool. But the longer you play it, the more it feels like... they cut a lot of corners. The more white flake and scarwood bark you obtain, which is so much. So much. Alright, let's place the bloom. The sample of Fellfire... Why can't I say the word Fellfire? A sample of Fellfire Bloom melts into the ether as you place it on the altar before the crossing. Oh, guess I gotta go get some more. I should return to the top of Karalatha and let Maxon know what has transpired. It appears Halcyon had been secretly drawing energy from the crossing in an attempt to end the long winter. He did so without Maxon's knowledge. Yeah, wow. They didn't really do much with that. You don't actually get very many choices in this. Every once in a while you get a choice. Like how you want things to play out. You know, that'll actually have different consequences, but you don't get many choices. So yeah, I guess the longer I play this, the more I feel like it's not a very good RPG. Now, that doesn't mean it's not a very good game. It's a great game. It's a very fun game. It's a great action game with RPG elements. It's a great RPG-ish action game. But I don't think it's a great RPG because everything feels flat. It feels gamey. The characters don't feel real. The places don't feel real. There's not a ton of, like, character-defining decisions that you can make. So as an RPG itself, based on how I personally define and judge RPGs, I don't think it's a great one. But as just a game to play and a world to explore and run around and have fun combat and get loot and have adventures and shit, it is really good. It's really fun.
I see. Alcir's devotion to his king and court was more powerful than our friendship. That he would compromise his own kind to end the long winter is deeply unsettling. Perhaps, in the end, he'd become Narka himself. You have my thanks. Please, take these. They are imbued with Fey magic, and should aid you wherever you may go.
He just gave me some Birkenstocks. So what now for you, Maxon?
I serve the Unseelie court. I was chosen to guard the crossing as the winter representative, to watch over its power during the long winter.
Well, did it work?
The crossing has changed. I can feel it. But whether it undid the damage Halcyon inflicted remains to be seen. Return to Florian and report what transpired.
Goodbye.
Take caution in these lands, mortal. Your kind is particularly susceptible to its dangers.
I like the art style of the game. It has good visual presentation. And it has a lot of good lore and story behind the world and history and everything. They definitely didn't cut corners there. But like the actual quest design, like the stories of the game itself, not, you know, the plot of the game more so, or the plot of the quest more so than like the story of the setting, feels pretty fucking dialed in, pretty generic and just like, I judge a game's like story elements based on, do I feel like this is something I couldn't have come up with myself? Like when I play a game and I'm like, oh, holy shit, I never would have been able to write something like this, then I think it's good. If I can look at the storyline of a game and think, I could have written this storyline, I could have written something as good as this, then to me it's not very good. You know what I mean? It's like nothing in this is like really surprising me or really, you know, making me think. All right, see you later, Katbuska. Thanks for coming by. Hope you have fun and enjoy the game. Alright, wait a damn minute. I just cured this shit. And there's still Narca assholes everywhere trying to be assholes and be assholes to me in an asshole way. Maxon will stand resilient at the crossing until his replacements return once again. Now that the fate of the Keepers has been decided, I should return to the Circle of Engard to report the news to Florian. Don't. Let's not, guys. Let's just not. I mean, you said something to that effect in the beginning, didn't you, Saito? I don't remember how you phrased it. Something about the difference between the story and narrative or something in this game. One being good and one being bad. I don't remember how you phrased it. What did you say that was along those lines? Really?
Your telling ends here.
Shouldn't have been so persistent, bro. No means no. I will dig your grave, by the way. Casual grave digging. One sec, says Saito. Like, if you compare this game to, like, a Dragon Age game, or Pillars of Eternity, or the Baldur's Gate games, or the Fallout, the original Fallout games. But like for a more modern example, let's say like Dragon Age, you know, like it just doesn't even begin to compare in terms of like story depth and quality and character depth and quality. It just doesn't even begin to compare. And that's where the game feels flat, cheap. It's not bad. There's a lot of games that have bad story and bad characters and bad dialogue. It's not bad. It's not that it's written poorly. Or that it's like cringeworthy or anything. It's just that it's not compelling.
The champion Engard has yet to return.
The characters don't feel like real people. The places, the towns and cities don't feel like real places where people would actually live.
I can feel a change in the air. The taint of the Naka curse is rapidly dissipating. A shame it was caused by one of the Seele's own. The Circle and I will take our leave. A small number of Naka will undoubtedly remain. We will reclaim our brethren and defeat what Naka are left. Thanks to you.
No, you won't.
Perhaps Alcerund will recover from the Naka after all.
No, you won't, Florian. You'll stand here. I'll come back here 8 years from now, and there will still be Narca assholes out there ready to fight me, and you'll still be standing here. Goodbye, Florian.
Exercise caution at
Okay,
Alcerund,
well,
traveler.
Maybe
The
you
sands
won't
are
still
unkind
be
to
standing
mortals.
here. Alright, I take back the you'll still be standing here part. But I guarantee you there's still going to be those assholes ready to jump me when I come back here a million years from now. Dude, if they actually go all around the map and kill all the Narca guys, that would actually be pretty impressive.
The Narca must be stopped.
Well, there's one like... Oh no, that's not a Narca.
The champion Engard has yet
But
to
now it
return.
looks like they're just milling around idiotically. They're not going to actually go around the map and kill all the Narcas. That'd be cool. You were talking about the Dark Souls game. I was noting how they had threadbare plots but good narratives. Yes, I don't really know what you mean by that still. I've completed my 119th task. I've returned the flower to Florian. Oh no, we already did that. I have no journaling to do about the end of the crossing. Alright. I got... When you refresh the area, the Narca will all be friendly. Really? Okay, that's pretty cool, actually. I'm surprised. What do you mean by good narratives? Could you elaborate on that? Good narratives. As distinct... Oh, here's the whisper... Oh, holy shit. I thought they were going to be just some standard crap. Those are kind of nice. Created for the Crossing Keepers, an ancient order of Fey journeymen that protect the secret sources of Fey magic in Amalur. 10% elemental damage, some extra mana, some mana regen. I mean, I don't think I'm going to wear them. Because look at how they look with the rest of my gear. For one thing. And the other thing is I lose a lot of armor, and the other thing is I'd lose... Well, all the other things that are on my current boots, I don't care that much about. Honestly, if these would match my fucking armor, I would probably wear them right now, but... Dark Souls has a narrative? See, that's my impression, son, from the bit of Dark Souls that I played and the lot of Dark Souls that I've watched. It doesn't seem to have much of a story to me, the way I would define it. When you look at the environment designs, read the item descriptions, they do weave a narrative. The plot is ultimately go here, kill things, go through Foggate, then kill big thing, repeat. But what do you mean when you say weave a narrative? Like what does the word narrative mean in the context that you're using it? Or what does it mean, period? I guess, is what I'm asking. Oh, my inventory is almost full again. Okay. Well, I think I've completed this zone. I think I've done everything in Ulcerand that I can do. I'm not going to the House of Valor yet. I'm going to wait till I'm level 40. Oh, wait. Karalatha. Oh, that's the place I just was. Caverns of Ingress, not to be confused with the Caverns of Egress. Jones Tomb. Hollowlands or Minotaur next? I think it's going to be Hollowlands. So that way I can go in a logical progression. I can go boop, 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 boop. Instead of going here and then going backwards and then going here. You know what I'm saying? It just makes the most sense to go to the Hollowlands next. Just Alt-Tab that I didn't mean to. And now my computer's... Narrative is how a plot is told and supported. The internet has created fantastic narratives based on the seemingly random bits of information. Well, the internet will always come up with better story stuff for anything than the actual developers did, because the internet consists of an enormous crowd of people with nothing to do who have all the time in the world to come up with shit, and there's, you know, thousands and thousands of them to combine their creative forces until the best cream rises to the top or whatever. No, I think I know what you mean, Saito. I think I know what you mean. I mean, this game, it's weird. Because this game is very story heavy. This game has a shitload of story. There's a shitload of dialogue with a shitload of NPCs and a lot of stuff to read and a lot of plot and a lot of work has been put into story in this game. But it's all really sort of, I don't know, you know, it's sort of, I hesitate to call it generic, because it's not generic. This isn't generic boilerplate Tolkien fantasy. They did come up with a lot of their own original ideas for the setting and the races and the cultures and stuff.
Hello, stranger.
So it's not generic, it's just not very interesting, I guess.
Would you care to sell? Sorry, I mean buy. Would you care to buy something?
Getting into the gnome-heavy regions, I know, I'm not happy about it. There's no way this is gonna end well. Okay.
Come again.
Sun says, in my opinion, storytelling in Souls is lacking. So much you have to create your own. Yeah. That's one of the biggest reasons I've been disinterested in Souls games. Not only because they're Japanese, and even though in many ways they are different, I mean, they were trying to made in a sort of westerny sort of way, I guess.
What?
They're different from a lot of Japanese, like, I mean, they're not like Japanese RPGs, obviously, but even so, there's still plenty of Japanese game design that you can see in the Souls games. I mean, it's lots of little things that you have to be particularly hateful of Japanese games to notice, I guess. But, subjective assessments of how we interpret the Gestalt elements of the game. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I just came here to sell shit. I've sold shit. Why am I running around here as though I have something to do here? Tying things like enemy placements, environments, and lore snippets together. Yeah, that makes sense, Saito. Oh, Sato, I'm the Archsage now. Which strikes me as completely fucking ludicrous, but... Seems like the kind of thing that would have made you very happy when you played this. Seriously? Seriously, guys? How many of these? Oh, I hate these mana draining ones.
Feed the dirt, desolate. Make your peace, mortal.
I never understood what the purpose of the chicken spawning thing was. Other than just to kill a bunch of chickens by having brownies kill them. It was really weird.
Take care in Ulcerund. The sands are unkind to mortals.
The Nif folklore was the precursor to the... No, I don't know anything about actual European folklore. I only know about what I've learned from, you know, games that have had it third, fourth, fifth hand distilled down, you know, from folklore and changed in each iteration. I don't really know anything about what real folklore was like. This is weird. They shouldn't be attacking like this. Well, life's weird. Life is weird. See what's going on up this way. Like, before your username appeared on my screen, I had never heard of a Nif before, or a Gnif. Just gnomes. Gnifs are somewhat dangerous supernatural entities who live underground and come out after dark. They're not exactly hostile to humanity, but they're very easily pissed off. If you're considerate of them and appease them with little offerings, they can be downright helpful. Who the fuck came up with this shit? Like, literally, who came up with this? And, like, why? I mean... Do I have a quest to come here? I do have to go to Aegon's tomb for the Mystic Hammer quest. Interesting. I don't feel like doing it right now, though. It's the same problem as Skyrim with... look, a major faction that's doing real shit in the world should not make their leader a wandering vagabond who's stopping by, who's going to be traveling around the world doing their own thing and is never going to be around to do any business relating to the running of that faction. Like, to make somebody like that your leader is just the dumbest, most gamest ass thing. Like, there's literally no reason why anyone would ever do that except for the fact that it's a video game and they want you to feel cool by being made the leader of the faction. HoloLands. Oh no. Maybe I will do this quest. Who came up with the Kappa, the Baylor, the Wendigo? People like to make weird shit up. But I mean, like, people literally believed in these things. That's what boggles my mind. Like, who magically came up with an idea for a creature one day and then got, like, everybody in their whole culture to believe that shit was real? Like, how does that work? You couldn't do that nowadays. I couldn't be like, hey guys, check this out. There's these things called Bindlewurtles. Yeah, no, they live in the walls of your house, and here's how they operate. And then all of a sudden, everybody in my city believes in Bindlewurtles. Like, you couldn't pull that off nowadays. How did they do it back then? I mean, I get that if you're raising children with the belief, so they're going to believe it, that's fine. How did you get all the adults to believe it in the first place, though? Alright, Aegon's Tomb. What's my quest say to do here? Oh, I'm here for the Mystic Hammer. The Mystic Hammer was buried with the remains of its owner in Aegon's Tomb, located in a narrow pass south of Alcerund. Long ago, Aegon used it to stop the Mage Farlong from undertaking the same scheme as Beeson, freeing the Niskaro Lord from his mountain prison. What's up, Scum Save? How you doing? Welcome. Look, there's nothing wrong with Islam or Christianity, theoretically. Like there's nothing wrong with them as belief systems. It's just what individual people do with those religions or in the name of them that's often very bad. And Christianity, historically, has done at least as much, if not more, unthinkable fucking violence in the name of its religion as has been done in the name of Islam. I mean, those two are the big ones, right? I mean, those are the two religions that have done the most violence. But really, there's been violence, plenty of violence associated with Hinduism. There's even been violence in the name of Buddhism. I'm doing a lot of violence to these pots right now. Well, now that I've destroyed... Again, unreasonable statuary. Who the fuck spent the money to make all these giant statues that are everywhere in this fucking game? I mean, they're cool looking. But, like, these giant... And, like, the scale of the architecture in this game is ludicrous. It's fucking ludicrous. Everywhere you go has fucking 100-foot-high ceilings. What is this place? What is this impressive edifice? Oh, it's a bait and tackle shop. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. And I know you're going to say, oh, well, this is the tomb of a great important hero. It's supposed to... Yeah, but it isn't just this place. It's fucking everywhere. It's everywhere. They evolve. You start with one idea to explain an element of the world as such, pass it on, and slowly it develops into weirdly specific things. The Kappa. Presumably started as a way to explain why people went missing around rivers. Like, why did they need an explanation for that? Motherfucker fell in the river. Got washed away. Drowned. Couldn't swim. Hit his head on a rock. Why do you need a supernatural explanation? It's a river. It's inherently dangerous. The elves used to be giants. How much of the world map have you explored at this point? Quite a lot, but still, I still have a lot left. So I've explored all of this area and these two little areas right here. I've got these three areas and this city, and I've also explored this city. Got these three areas in this city, everything over here on this side of the map, and the two whole DLC areas as well. So, yeah, maybe half. And I'm 109 hours into it. Of course, this is Josiah speed. I stop it. Like right now, am I even playing the game? I'm just standing here talking. You know what I'm saying? And I do that a lot, so... How much time it would have taken had a real person been playing for real. Like, what am I doing right now? I'm running around the outside of this thing, again, for no reason. Like, that's... I do a lot of time-wasting stuff like that. Unlock Aegon's Tomb. Let's do it. 18 Niskaru Tyrants spawn. Even the Tomb of Aegon has some fucking white flake in there. Dude, at this point, I know the developers are just fucking with me. They're literally trolling me right now. Mystic Hammer. Oh no, I'm gonna have to craft it. Fuck my life. Dude, there's no monsters in here? Seriously? I'm not gonna have to fight anything? That's weird. Know what you're saying? I watched about 75% of your Pillars Return. That's a lot, because that series is really long. Maybe one group adds on turtle-like elements, while another says they saw a creepy dude with long hair by the river. They eventually link up and suddenly you have a turtle dude with long hair. Not quite sure where the hole can steal your soul through your anus thing came through, though. That may just be hashtag Japanese nonsense. The decayed remains of what once was the Mystic Hammer. I have what remains of the Mystic Hammer, the weapon that Aegon used long ago to stop the mage Farlong from undertaking the same scheme as Beeson, freeing a Niskaru lord. I should get to Ironfast Keep to meet up with Gwyn Anwi. Alright, this pisses me off. Why does it piss me off? I'll tell you why. This has been sealed in a fucking tomb. But it's just remains? Now, before you say, oh, but it's been a long time, things could rot away. Except, there was a perfectly fucking intact white flake in there. Why don't I have the remains of a white flake? The white flake is fine, but this fucking hammer fell apart? Alright. Oh, have a good one, Saito. See you later. See you when you come back the next time. Alright. Oh, Ironfast Keep is where I have to go next. I haven't been there. Okay, well, we're not going there right now. We're gonna explore the Hollowlands instead. The Hollowlands. Holla. I don't know what it is I like about this game so much, because honestly, the more I play it, the more I feel like it's a fairly unsatisfying RPG. And yet I like it enough that I want to keep playing it, and I've played it a lot of hours. I don't know. And here's
it's
a
amazing
fucking
that
gnome.
the Fae can flourish in such a warm environment.
I can't. I just can't even. And gnomes all of a sudden. This whole place is going to be lousy with gnomes now. It's a low impact open world. What do you mean by low impact? And generally we have fun poking at its flaws. That's true. I do like the way the world is structured. I like the discrete zones, and I like the fact that the maps are actually really easily explorable. It's really easy to come into a zone like this and literally explore every fucking inch of it. Whereas with something like Skyrim, or Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, you can't do that. That's fucking impossible. Because the mapping isn't good enough, and the layout of the land isn't right, and you wouldn't really be rewarded for doing so. You can't really explore The Witcher 3. You can't really, in those games, they're not geographically set up for you to systematically explore the entire landscape. Whereas this game is, and I do like that a lot. And I like the visual presentation. You know, the way the dungeons look, the way the fucking everything looks, the way the armor looks, and the weapons, and I like the animations in combat a lot. I like the things you can do in combat, and the way the different weapons all operate differently. I think that's all really fun. I do kind of like the fact that you can build your character however you want and combine the skills however you want and wear whatever armor and weapons you want, and you can respec anytime you want really easily. I do like that aspect. I like the fact that there's lots of story and lots of dialogue you can have with NPCs, but I don't like the fact that that story is kind of flat and meh, and the characters, almost none of them really seem that interesting or like real people. If you explore everything in this game, you end up ridiculously OP. Yeah, I'm at that point now. Even without having crafted gear or any of that, I'm at the point where everything in the game is going to be gray to me until I get to, like, here. Or something. Azurite? Seriously? Azurite. Mostly the game feels extremely gamey. Extremely gamey. I feel like you are constantly reminded by the way that everything is designed that you're playing a video game. Because nothing makes sense. Nothing is attempts to be like, let's make this feel like a real place. Let's put things in logical places where they would be. Let's, you know, have logical systems in place that make it feel like a, you know, a real settlement or real people. It totally feels like a game. And that's not 100% a bad thing, but it is... It's something that keeps you from feeling invested in the world. Or invested in the characters and their struggles. Like, I mean, I could just murder all these gnomes right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even give a shit.
You'll pay for that!
Oh, it's too bad Saito wasn't still here to watch me murder gnomes. You know, like, fuck these gnomes. You know what I'm saying?
Leave me alone!
Are they just gonna keep getting back up so I can murder them again and again? Look at him coming at me with his fists. Brave little fucker. Foolish, but brave. This is actually kind of fun. Just standing here endlessly slaughtering gnomes. Let's light up a gnome with a lightning bolt this time. I was in your grave, your tiny little grave. Cuddly Panda, how you doing? I'm just slaughtering some gnomes for the lulz.
Now you've done it.
Alright, but no, I'm not gonna do that, of course. I don't think the writing is hilariously bad, Scum Save. I don't think the writing is bad at all. I just think it's very middle of the road, very mediocre. Just, you know, like, work a day.
As it is blistering. The problem with Apatir is they didn't use no miners. Work at Canyon Hill Mine has stopped completely since the Fae took up residence.
Alright, good night. Good night, Malik. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you tomorrow on your stream, I'm sure.
A horde of Fae is blocking the road towards the Canyon Hill Mine. Work at Canyon Hill Mine has stopped completely since the Fae took up residence. I wish the Fae would get out of Canyon Hill so we can work. There's money to be made and we're not making it.
Oh, I hate these gnomes already. I hate these fucking gnomes.
Work at Canyon wins in the hollow. The problem with Apatir is they didn't use no. How's it go from? It's amazing that the Fae can flourish in such a warm environment. I wish the Fae would get out of Canyon Hill. I wish the Fae would get out of Canyon Hill so we can work. There's money to be made and we're not making it.
With a map and a quest.
Looks like I'm in luck. Didn't expect to see so heavily armed an adventurer wandering into our camp. Are you interested in a job? I've got a Fae beast situation I need taken care of.
I'll do it. What do you need?
Excellent. A pack of wild Fae have holed up at the Canyon Hill site at the top of the ledge. I've already dispatched a scholar to investigate, but he hasn't returned. You'll find him near the road towards the mine. I'll have more information for you there, but it isn't useful for much else. The coward refuses to go near the Fae. Get to the site and figure out why those blasted things have come out of the mine, and then get rid of them. Speak to the scholar when the deed is done. He'll pay you.
Pay in a mine? Tell me about yourself, little fellow.
Oh, where are my manners? Foreman Vire at your service. This here is Motus Mining's latest outfit, and my care and charge.
What's Motus Mining?
If it weren't for the beast lurking at our doorstep every day, I'd find this place quaint. As it is, I can barely retain my sanity. Capstan Odvar runs an inn and serves as our chief of security.
Tell me about these lands.
A forsaken, wretched wasteland with more beasts than grains of sand. Still, by the dooms of Odessa, I'll not see this venture fail.
Sounds like my kind of place. What's Erin Excavations?
They were our biggest competition. And they discovered this site, actually. When we caught wind of it, we made sure to get up here with a bag of gold for each of his workers. So they promised to work for us instead, of course. Work like a charm. Poor Edgar Edder never found a way to recover from that. There's no one else to run his mine. He probably couldn't find the money to pay them even if he found new staff. If I sound proud of us, it's 'cause I am. It was a big victory for Motus.
I see. Congratulations, I guess. Have you heard of the Saltwell Caverns? I haven't, but I'm asking about them through some sort of prescience, I suppose I have.
I've received reports of strange happenings in those caverns. One of the workers claimed he saw horrifically scarred men wandering near Saltwell Mouth.
You know what else I haven't ever heard of? Cloudcrest. Is that a thing?
I've seen some strange things. Flickers and flashes from the top of that mountain. No idea what causes it, and I don't want none. We've got our hands full down here as it is.
Also, I don't know who Ensor Garou is, but you probably do.
He's a weak-eyed, knock-kneed, biscuit-biting excuse
Biscuit biting!
But he's the one I've got, so that's that.
That fucking biscuit biter. You know what I mean? I would eat a biscuit right now. Alright, where do I go?
Our scholar Ensor ought to be at the Canyon Hill site, getting to the bottom of this damn hold-up.
Eating
He ought
some
to be
biscuits,
back
probably.
already, telling me how he fixed it.
He's
If
up
you
there
do see him, give him a kick for me and tell him to
chowing
get
down
on
on
with it.
biscuits.
I've got miners just standing around not mining.
That's unacceptable. Alright. What's the mining holdup?
Ah, they're cowards, the whole lot of them. They came scurrying back, complaining about the passage to Canyon Hill site, blocked by Fae. Now they won't go near the eastern ledge and me without a single Praetorian to deal with them.
I'll deal with all of this shit.
Good eve.
Faye at the mine. Cleverly named quest. Apule Veer dispatched his scholar, Ensor, hours ago, but has not heard back. Only the sound of biscuits being eaten could be heard. Ensor is supposed to be looking into problems at Canyon Hill Mine. Problems like not enough biscuits.
I wish the Fae would get out of Canyon Hill so we can work.
What's going on in here? Another quest. What's going on downstairs? I'm not taking that frying pan. I'm not a monster. I won't deprive these people of their frying pan. Old letters. Plant report. I'll read that. An official-looking document, yet hastily scribbled. The Journal of Absalon Corniel. I cannot believe my fortune. Word of a plant came to me today, a magnificent plant that resides in a little-traveled canyon of the Hollowlands. Reginald, who works out of the Dune Head mine, passes near it occasionally on his walks and has mentioned that it grows as fast as the crow flies, that it bleeds an aura that he can only describe as magical. I believe I've read of its kind in the Spagyric Museum, and would like immensely to take a sample, though I know not if I should venture the risk. There have been reports of Dune Head miners disappearing, several of them from Reginald's old group. Alright, well, we'll check that out. What's up, little fellow?
I barely got away from all those Fae on that hill.
So much Fae.
The things I saw in that desert. Oh, I barely got away from all... What can we possibly do against wild Fae? They'll tear us apart!
This guy's seen some shit.
Oh, I barely got away from all those Fae on that hill.
Greetings.
Okay, this place is a lot bigger on the inside than it.
I wish the Fae would get out of Canyon Hill so we can work. There's money to be made, and we're not making it.
Ha! Capstan Oddvar. This guy's a really tall gnome.
You look well armed. Aren't you here about the Craddock? We have a vicious one on our hands. It's about the desert, killing any workers it can catch. How in blazes it developed a taste for gnome flesh, only that damn thing knows.
Caddocks will kill
Confound it.
anything.
Between the Canyon Hill incident and that beast, our schedule's ground to a halt.
Before I talk to you about this Craddock, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Start with you. Tell me about you.
Once word got out that Edgar Erin had found this mineral-rich site, Motus rushed to get an operation set up here. I'm all the muscle they bothered to send. I'm the lone guard Motus hired to protect this place. They've given me a Chief of Security title, but that means nothing when I've got no men to command. Now we've got a Craddock that's more than a match for a small army. I know better than to go out there alone.
I'll destroy that fucking Craddock. What do you know about that Erin excavations? It sounds like they got the shaft.
They were the first mining operation here in the Hollowlands. Foreman by the name of Edgar Erin. Rumour has it he spent every coin he had building his mine. When Motus moved in, they waved bags of gold in the faces of Erin's workers. The next day, they all jumped ship. It's tragic, but it's business.
That's fucked up. Poor Erin. Could I get a room here?
We don't have separate rooms, but we've got beds upstairs. It'll cost you, though. We're the closest thing to an inn for leagues around us.
Leagues? Apparently.
Are you enjoying your stay? Those beds aren't
Apparently it
luxurious,
won't cost
but
me.
They're better than sleeping on the ground.
He didn't charge me anything. Do you know about the Saltwell Caverns?
I've heard bizarre tales about those caves. The workers swear they've seen ghastly men, ravaged by some plague or foul magic, pacing round the entrances.
Tell me about Motus Mining. Are they just basically a bunch of corporate greedheads?
I've heard the rumours. They might be saints or bastards, but they've coin to spare, and that's enough for me.
What do you know about these Hollowlands?
Know it as well as my own calloused hand. That's why they pay me good gold to sit here. You won't find much on the surface here, but trapped below is the salvation of Odessa's future. We've the raw materials under our feet to equip entire armies, and that's why you'll find Motus Mining and, such as it is, Erin Excavations digging here.
Hey, what's up, Brad? How's it going? Tex TV in the house. Good to see you, man. What's going on with you? What about the Dunehead mine?
Canyon Hill is up the eastern ledge. That's the one that spooked the miners. The Dunehead operation's hardly begun thanks to a vicious Craddock.
I hate Craddocks. You've been sick the last few days. Ah, that sucks, man. You feeling better? Anything mysterious about that Cloudcrest mountain?
No one knows what's at the top of Cloudcrest, but that don't stop folks speculating. I've heard the first Fae set foot in Amalur came from there. That'd explain why there are so many of them in Detir.
That does sound interesting. What's Bloodbane?
We don't know where it got a taste for the gnome miners, but it's been terrorizing the Dunehead mine. Motus is offering a considerable bounty for its demise.
I'll kill it. Tell me more about this Craddock.
You got the picture. Don't know how the damned old thing got a taste for him, but once it gets an idea, there's no stopping it. We've put a price on its hide, but who'd be crazy enough to earn it?
You're a little better? Wanted to stream but feeling shitty sucks and trying to game. Yeah, I know. Anytime I'm not really feeling too great, I don't want to stream. And like, actually being sick, fuck that. So it's been several days, huh? But at least I think you're on the mend now, right? You're on the upswing, so you should feel better tomorrow and the day after. So that's good. Finally got some sleep. It's good. Hope you make a swift recovery at this point. I'll kill it.
Well, you sure? All right, it's your funeral. You should speak to Edgar Aaron of Aaron Excavations. He'll know how to find Bloodbane. Edgar's lived in the Hollowlands longer than any of us.
Tell me about Edgar.
He's the foreman of the other mine here. He knows a thing or two about the Hollowlands. Been surveying this place long before Motus moved in. He ran Aaron Excavations until Motus hired his workers out from under him. It's tough, but that's business. I'm not sure what he's up to these days, but he hasn't left.
Eat well and drink lots of fluid. That sounds like the best way to do things, for sure. Get as much rest as you can. Can be really hard to... Had a bit of pot roast. That's good. Pot roast sounds good. Those potatoes, carrots, and onions. Aw, yeah. You'll be good to go pretty soon, I think. I haven't been sick in a really long time, other than my little gallstone thing that I had. That was weird. So what about this, Aaron's mine? Is it just shut down now, or what?
Aaron Excavations? They're the other mining operation in the Hollowlands. Motus's only competition. Not particularly stiff competition, mind you. Especially since Motus wooed all of Aaron's miners with much higher wages.
How do I find this Craddock again?
They were the first mining operation here in the Hollowlands. When Motus moved in, speak to Edgar Aaron of Aaron's Excavations. He's been in the Hollowlands longer than any of us. He'll know how to find Bloodbane. I'll warn you though, Edgar's bitter about Motus luring away his workers away with higher wages. He probably finds the situation ironic now that Bloodbane is attacking Dunehead Mine.
Alright, thank you, Capstan.
You look like you can take care of yourself, but you should be careful out there.
Bloodbane. I should speak to Edgar Aaron, who runs Aaron's Excavations, in order to find the Craddock, Bloodbane, and collect the bounty.
Work at Canyon Hill Mine has stopped completely since the Fae took up residence.
No, they just have some beds up here. Not gonna bother with those. Reclose. Motus reports 5. Now that I will bother with. This official document was written by employees of Motus Mining Interests, a gnome concern. Quality, mediocre. Examine the output of the dig over the last month, measuring the bulk of ore that was successfully mined compared to the rock needed to be removed to obtain it. In general, yields were 1 part ore for every 30 parts refuse. Less than ideal, but we can maintain profits if we have the miners working double shifts to make up for the losses. Greedy corporations. Even in fantasy game, greedy corporations.
Greetings!
Alright.
Greetings!
Yeah, greetings yourself. Alex Anatole, whoever this person is. Oh, that must be that giant fucking... There we go. It's been a while since we've seen a big giant mountain like the one that's in Arethel. This is the official giant mountain of Detir, I guess.
Name's Alex. Alex Anatole. Let me know if you've got any equipment that needs repairing. I'll get it back to you as good as new.
And how much would that cost? 361,000 gold. No. What do you know about Aaron excavations?
They're Motus Mining's only competition out here. They set up shop first, actually, but they're just about finished. When Motus moved in, they lured the Aaron workers with promise of higher wages. Aaron excavations never recovered. I hear the foreman, Edgar Aaron, is pretty bitter about it. He still hasn't left, though. Probably holding on to the hope he can get his business running again.
What do you know about the Hollowlands?
It's a dangerous region, for sure. There are beasts out there just waiting to tear a gnome apart. The mining operations here have run into a real wall when it comes to the local wildlife. Take heed and learn from their hardship. Make sure you're well equipped, and don't hesitate to ask for repairs.
I'm just waiting to tear a gnome apart. Alright,
Take
thank
care
you,
in the
goodbye.
sands. They're unkind to the unwitting.
Speaking of repairing... Do I need to repair anything? My talisman. I could probably stand to do considerable repairing, actually. Look for Enser. Overlook camp. Random miners.
The problem with Apotheers, they didn't use no miners.
The problem with gnomes is they exist. Weird little tower. I like how all of the same plants that grow in the lush Fey forest also grow in this fucking desert. Oh, wait, I don't want to destroy this shit. The Hollowlands. The hollowest of lands. Why are they just storing up all this stuff here for me to take? Why?
Oh, I'm in a terrible bind. I don't dare go forward, and I certainly can't go back. Mind you, I wouldn't go up that eastern ledge. It's most unsafe.
Oh, this is Enser, the guy that I needed to talk to. Yo, Enser, right?
Scholar of mineralogy, Motus Mining, and unwitting adventurer. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
This is the biscuit biter. I can see some biscuit crumbs in his beard. Well then, biscuit man, tell me about Motus Mining.
Edessa could not have been built without the Motus Mining interest.
And these Saltwell caverns I keep hearing about.
I've heard tales of terrifyingly scarred men appearing at the entrance of the caverns from time to time. I don't care why they're there, I just don't want them anywhere near me.
Sounds interesting. What do you think of that big mountain there?
It's a place of mystery and intrigue. No one knows what lurks at the top, though everyone's got a guess.
What's your guess? You know Pulvia. He thinks you're a biscuit biter. What do you think of him?
Oh yes, a stalwart foreman. He sent you after me, I suppose.
Right, he wanted to know if you were going to stop eating biscuits and get the fucking back to the camp. But have you been to the site?
Yes. Well, no. I got 10 paces up the slope when I spotted those Fae. What's a scholar to do against hordes of vicious beasts? One of those boggarts, it shook its fist at me.
But you're supposed to go up there.
Yes, and find out what's wrong. Now that I've found it, and have no desire to investigate further.
What exactly did you see?
There were boggarts, lots of boggarts.
Fucking boggarts.
And I think I saw a thresh.
Oh,
I was
no.
rather too busy running to note the particulars.
Alright. Let's go take a look.
Well, if you were willing to go first, I would have no objection to trailing behind at a safe distance.
But why have these Fae appeared here?
I've yet to discover a reason for their presence. Let's keep going.
Alright.
Lead the way. Up the slope we go.
He says lead the way, and he immediately runs away from me. Ensa has reluctantly agreed to climb the ledge, if I go first. Hopefully at the top we will find some clue as to why the Fae have gathered in front of the mine. Well, I'm not even sure which way we're supposed to go, but I'm going this way. And that's how you deal with boggarts, little guy. They're not so tough. Ah, shit, that's a lot of sprites. Sprites, doo-doo-doo-doo, sprites.
I see something at the end of the trail.
What the hell's going on over there? Something weird going on here. Ah, it's a Fae acting up. What a surprise. What a surprise. Oh, I can just go right through that. It wasn't... I thought it was like some kind of wall, but... I can just casually...
Oh!
It's like some kind of aura of heat around her or something.
Another come to steal the light. Come to trouble the reverie.
What's the reverie?
When I became aware the light was gone, the shell of the reverie cracked, and my dream self wandered free.
And what's the light?
Long, long ago, I wandered lost in the dark of night. I cried a pool into a rocky basin, and starlight gathered there. I fashioned this into a jewel, and by its light found my way home. Is it any wonder that I hold it so dear?
Who are you?
I long to return to the reverie. While Calavar walks the sands, I must sleep.
Who's Calavar?
He and I are two, where there once were many. We lived then wild on dune and crag. Now he watches the waking day, and I tend to the dreaming murmurs of the stone.
What are all these Fae doing? Why are they attacking?
They are my friends, drawn here as I drift between the dream world and the world of the waking. The light, source of solace, snuck in, sharp knives, soft feet, stole the jewel from my side. Took it northward, through the narrow rocks, to their village of wood and cloth.
I guess I need to get that back, then. Goodbye. The vision was a Fey maiden called Arenda. I should speak to Answer about her raving. It sounds like someone stole something from her. Her raving. Can I even go in this place? Canyon Hill Mine. Yeah, I can. Okay. Answer. It's just chilling over here, I guess.
It's beginning to make sense. This Fey maiden is real. But I believe we're speaking to a projection of her as she dreams. There is a Fey hollow under this mine, where I'll wager she sleeps. And these other Fey, they're drawn to the power of this projection. Restoring to her this light she speaks of might calm things down. Find me at the Motus mining office when you return it to her. I'll make sure you're duly compensated.
The appearance of these Fae has certainly been inconvenient.
No, I feel quite certain. The maiden we see here is a projection of her dream self, as she calls it. The real Fae's asleep, somewhere in the hollow below us, I'll wager. And these other wild Fae are drawn to the power she exudes while in this form.
So what do I do now?
Most likely return what was stolen to the Fae made within the hollow. That is how these things tend to go.
I'll do it. Goodbye.
Oh!
Ah! Suddenly fair Gorta. I will dig her grave! I dug his grave. Alright. Cool. Shadowthorn, Canyon Hill Mine. The fuck is this guy? It's been a long time since I found a new creature type. This is an actual new creature type. Son of Laz. I haven't fought these before. Looks pretty serious. But I'm still overpowered for this area, so it's not really a big deal. Mergen get murdered. Really, Josiah? Mergen get murdered? That's what you came up with? There's a giant skeleton of some ancient colossal creature over here. It's too bad we can't fight something like that. Whatever the fuck this was. Now that would have been a fucking boss fight. For real. Shadowthorn. Stay hollow. Okay, we're not going in there right now. It's just a random Ben Shane cruising around? We're gonna ambush. I kind of hate being this much overpowered over the creatures, but there's nothing I can do about it for now. I mean, I could skip a ton of content, but I'm not gonna do that, obviously. More of these guys. Sons of Laz. Whoever the fuck Laz is, he needs to get his kids under control. Deal with your kids, Laz. I'm in combat. This guy's gonna probably die from the fire before he gets to me. Guess not. This looks like a kind of area where I'd have like a big fight against something major.
In ancient times, the desert had no shade. The sun burned the land to ruin. The rivers disappeared, and the animals hid underground. The people cried to Helios for mercy, but he didn't answer their prayers. As the plants withered in the heat, the hollow lands echoed with the crackle of fires.
That sounds cool. I like fires. It's like a skeleton corpse. Handled. Wait, those boots look like they might actually be... Those might actually be Prismere. Oh wait. Those are not Prismere. And they're fucking finesse boots, not Greaves, so I don't know what I was thinking. This is the way to Minotaur. Not to be confused with Minotaur. If you were a Minotaur in Menethir, it would be pretty funny. I'll dig your grave! Can you dig it? I don't want to go this way yet until I'm ready to go to the next area. There's something over here. It's a chest. Ferak's pummelers. Might gloves. A smith named Ferak crafted these gauntlets for his liege lord as a gift for his wedding anniversary. They give you stun duration, some health, some physical resistance. I mean, I'm not going to wear them. They're not as good as my gauntlets, but... And a white flake. So this is the Dune's Head mine. Hex weave cowl. Little black cohosh. Love me some of that black cohosh. Ain't gotta coerce me to drink cohosh. What? Doesn't even make sense. Also, who said cohosh was even tea? I don't know. It could be a tea, right? I mean, it literally could be a tea. It sounds tea-ish. Actually, I think cohosh is a real thing in the real world. And I really do think they make tea out of it. I think they do make tea out of cohosh.
Then winged Saina, the mediator of earth and sky, came from Ishara. She beheld the suffering desert and swooped down upon the hollow lands. Her feathers shaded the scorching sands. Her wings cooled the broken ground. Her tears fell to the dust, where rivers were born.
He sounds pretty cool. This leads to Saltwell Caverns. Which I don't think I'm going to go into right now. But I do want to locate them on my map. Great sword and magic. It's a natural combination. Not really, but it works for me. kind of shenanigans am I gonna run into? Ah, I knew it. I was just about to say. We're about to have a fucking Banshane. He missed. Oh no, that was him shooting one of his little fucking little egg things. Or her, actually. It's a lot of lightning. I will dig your grave! Ooh, a repair kit. Interesting. I don't think I've seen those drop as loot very often, if ever. Treasure sack. What's the sack value? What's the sack value? Alright, it wasn't very high. Cactus. Here we go. Scarlet bark. Alright. The Sons of Laz. This Laz guy seems like an asshole. Deadbeat dad. You know, all these unwanted kids running around without a father. Acting up. Fucking Laz probably ain't even paying no child support. Just some random bar guest walking along. Hey, what are you doing? We're gonna fight now. Great sword's fun. It's fun. I gots to get past this water. Shitload of Banshane in this area. This is how we do it. Choose it. Now one of these guys, really? Oh! Nighty night, pal. Nighty night. Sorry your dad don't love you. But in truth, I don't love you neither. Lyria. I'm gonna save scum this. This leads to a hidden little area where apparently I have a quest. And an excavations office. I think I'm about ready to stop though for the night. Let's see how long I've been playing this game. Let's check the time. 110 hours. On level 31, I've explored probably a little over half of the world total with the DLCs. Not bad, not bad. 200-hour playthrough we're looking at here. So, that's going to do it for now. Thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning.